And welcome to the stream, y'all. We're here live for the NBA. Mic issue for a second. We're here live talking about and we're about 15 minutes away from the start. Let's see. I'm going to be going over lots of prospects throughout. I'm going to have some good information for y'all. I have the No Ceilings NBA draft guide pulled up, so we'll be able to kind of go into some prospects that we're not quite sure about, but I want to hear from y'all in the comments, what y'all think of the picks, all that kind of stuff. Right now we're at 323 subs. We're trying to get to 500. That's our goal. So if y'all are popping into this live, definitely leave a sub. We'd love to see you on this channel more and more. And if any of y'all want to come and grab a microphone, definitely just let me know. DM me on Twitter, and I'll toss you the link for that. Subs, we're trying to yeah, seems like we're all good to go. The audio's working and everything, and yeah, we're about to get started. Let me try to put a comment down here. So Detroit trading for Hero. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Tyler Hero rumors. It sounds like a Trey Murphy deal is going to happen tonight, so that's kind of crazy. I kind of thought some of these deals were going to happen earlier in the day today, but it's been a quiet day. A little too quiet. They got the prospects coming out now. The Hero's going to be a Piston. I think so. And I have mixed feelings about it. But what I think they're going to do is I think tonight they're going to try to move up. And if they're unsuccessful, or I guess if they're not using too many assets to move up tonight, I think Hero's going to be their plan B. I think they're going to try to get Yaxel today. I think Stu's going to be involved in that. And then we'll see if we have enough left to get Hero. But it sounds like, the Bucks price was pretty big, and it sounds like it's gotten bigger. So a 2-set unlocked on Pistons today. So, man, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the rumored package that sounded like we were willing to give up. That was Duncan, Stu, and Ron, all of them, and I'm not rocking with that. But it's crazy. It's a crazy time of the year. Prophet, thank you for joining and commenting, y'all. Let me know how you're feeling. It's like we got 11 people right now in the chat, so thank you guys all for watching with me. And yeah, let me know who you're most excited to see. Like which team you're excited to see pick, which guy you think is gonna be, outperformed their draft position, which guy you think is going to be a bust. I want to know all of them. We're going to talk all throughout this draft through all the prospects and stuff. Um, but yeah, also, feel free to just pop in and out whenever you please. There's so many great draft streams that I like to tap into when I'm not going live. So, I'll bounce around between the game theory one if I'm trying to get some like deep analysis, but then, I like to have some team ones too. So if y'all want to just hang out with some Pistons fans, let your friends know, come join this live. Share my posts on Twitter if you don't mind. We're trying to get a good community in here for the pick, and I'm sure around the time of the Pistons pick tonight, it's gonna be absolutely crazy in here. But yeah, super excited to talk everything draft with y'all. Looks like Isaiah Evans coming across the board right now. He's definitely someone I've seen some Pistons fans talk about. I'm not really a fan of taking him at 21. I think there's just other ways you can get players of his caliber than in a draft this stacked. I'd rather go with someone that I think is more well-rounded offensive game, even if he's a great shooter and maybe the best shooter in this draft. But Christian Anderson, I think, kind of gives you some of that shooting, but he's got a little bit more to his game. He could pass a little bit more. He's small, which is concerning, but it sounds like Christian Anderson might end up being one of those guys that falls to the Pistons at 21. Prophet said second effort, great info, good job, bro. I appreciate you, Prophet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just started this channel back in May because I was just sick of annoying all my friends and my girlfriend with all this basketball talk. I felt like I had to talk to more Pistons fans about it. You said Okori? Yeah, EBUKA Okori is probably, if we're drafting at 21, the guy I'm most interested in. I'd say my plan A would be getting up to get Yaxel. Or maybe Cam Carr, falling, but man, feels like Cam Carr is going to go by 15, and then you got to move up to get Yaxel too. So at 21, I like EBUKA Okori a lot. He's a really, really interesting player. He gets to the rim all the time, and he scores like so well at the rim. Played for a Stanford team that just had no talent around him, and look, he carried the entire offensive load for him. So he's one of those guys. Oh, here he comes right now, actually. He's one of those guys that I think if he played for a better team, he might have even shot it better because they were closing out on EBUKA Okori. There's no one else scoring on their team. So really interesting player. And some people don't really like his fit as much as the Pistons. I think it's because they don't believe in his shot quite as much. He shot like 34% from three, but he took a lot of pull-up jumpers. He took like over 100 pull-up threes. And he's not going to have to do that really in the NBA level as much as he did in college. So I think with more talent around him playing next to, Cade sometimes, I think Okori would be a really fun change of pace. Yeah, we got about 7 minutes till the draft. Let me know who y'all want the Pistons to take. Excited to hear about it. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to just not have Twitter up. The problem is, like, Shams is going to spoil all the picks before we see him on TV. But if there's any trades, like, the TV does such a bad job covering the draft, they're not going to show us details until it's like 4 picks later. So we have to basically get the information. So that's just kind of where we're at. I'm going to probably have these up. I'm not going to mention any names until we see it on TV, though, for picks. So if y'all want to not be spoiled, I'm waiting for the TV. Maybe shield your eyes from the chat during the actual draft because I'm sure chat's going to be exposing things and spoiling them, like the old Woj draft experience. I do miss his creative ways to to say who people were going to pick without saying it. Shams is just it's not the same, man. It is not the same. All the guys coming off the stage now. We got Bennett Sturts in the cream color. And who y'all got going number? How about this? Put 1 through 3 in the chat. What's the order that you would take them in? I think we kind of can guess how they're going to go, but I've seen a lot of people with different takes on that. So I'm interested to find out who y'all got, what your order is. For me, I'd go AJ at 1, especially if I'm the Wizards specifically. I just think, part of the conversation for them has been they want a guy that's a leader, a guy that can be the face of the franchise, that can go out there and, um, you know, basically be the front facing person, the representative of their team, do the community events and all those things. And to me, that just screams AJ, probably more than it does Peterson, man. Prophet, you said who's going number one? I'm going AJ. It sounds like that's kind of what a lot of people are thinking is going to happen here. Yeah, you said AJ Booker Peterson. Okay, so you got or Boozer Peterson. So you got Cameron Boozer at number two. Uh, Boozer could go too, though. I mean, that's totally in play. As like as far as earlier today, even I don't think people are ruling that out yet. So that'll be really interesting to see. But we got lots of teams that are intriguing today. We got Oklahoma City with 12 and 17, Charlotte with 14 and 18. Pistons want to move up. The Spurs want to move up. The Hawks might trade out. Jalen Brown's on the board. Trey Murphy's on the board. It's about to be crazy, y'all. But yeah, I'll kind of touch on a little bit on the Pistons stuff because we had a lot of Pistons news today. Um, to start, we talked about the hero stuff a little bit. Um, what we know now is that it's not off the table. You know, the Bucks are definitely talking to the Pistons. It sounds like right now, um, and it's completely possible the Pistons end up making the hero move. It's not my priority, but it sounds like it's something that the Pistons could get done between now and free agency when the trade actually finalizes on July 6th. Um, but beyond that, we also got news today that Norman Powell is someone that the Pistons are interested in targeting. They added him to their list along with guys like Kobe White, Isaiah Joe, and the harder to get guys like Kyrie Irving, Trey Murphy. I think there's someone else in there. But man, um, I'd say personally, I'm not a huge fan of. Sorry. You said Powell would be a good pickup. I think so. I think my concern with Powell would just be how many years we give him. You know, just because he's 33 years old and he just came off a contract season where he was hurt a lot of the season. And then he kind of stunk it up a little bit towards the end of the season, especially and in the playoff game, he only played like 20 minutes and they're playing a game. Um, that being said, I think Powell's probably going to be cheaper than extending Hero. And if you're trading for Hero, if it sounds like we're going to be giving up Stu, uh, Duncan, and Ron, like if you're giving up all those three, you better be extending the player you're getting, right? You can't do that for an expiring hero. And expiring and the hero extension is going to be big. It's not going to be some small thing. It's going to be at least for 30 million a year. And I don't want to pay that. But Norm Powell for 2 years, I think even if you think he's a slightly less, you know, good of a player, I think it's probably more worth it. I don't know though. I'm torn on it. Definitely. Uh, but yeah, we're just about a few minutes from the start of the draft, I guess. I mean, we'll see when they actually end up starting, as we know those ESPN alleged start times are never quite accurate. But yeah, let me know in the chat who y'all got number one, who you want the Pistons to take. We're gonna definitely talk about all those names throughout the night. Put a poll in the chat. Or Q&A, I guess. All right, so we got a Q&A there. So if y'all want to answer that, we'll look at that question. We can make other questions if y'all want to throughout the night. And let me know if there's anything else y'all want me to pull up during the stream. Not gonna show the stream or the audio, but want to make this as good of an experience for y'all as possible. We're celebrating the Knicks, man. No, come on, y'all had your moment. We don't need to do this right now. All right, got my shams up on the side over here. We're at 324 subs, so thank you guys for joining and subbing. We're trying to get to 500 today, or not today, but just soon, because at 500 we can start doing some other cool stuff, like some memberships, and I'm gonna do like a Discord or something to go along with that. Um, but I really want to build a good community here on this channel and talk with you guys more directly than I'm able to on YouTube, because I love responding to your comments and hearing like your takes in the comments and stuff. But I would like to figure out a way to make it more interactive and engaging. So um, that's our goal. So definitely appreciate y'all for joining and for subbing if you already subbed. We're just moments away from the NBA draft, you guys. Uh, yeah, I think this is going to be some good stuff. This should be a really, really fun night. What do you think about Acuff, Detroit native? I love Acuff. I think people look at him, and I know that the defense is a concern, absolutely. But to be honest, like, it's not just the scoring with him; it's also playmaking. Like, he's got total superstar written all over him. And you hope that the defense isn't too bad, and he can kind of do a little bit of it, but I think he's too good on offense to fail. To be honest, I think honestly going to Sacramento is kind of perfect for him, because he's going to get the chance to kind of just step in there and run the show how he wants to, right? And for the Kings, I mean, they get a star that wants to be there. How often do Kings have have a superstar player they can draft that's like navigating the draft process to get themselves to Sacramento? That's not something that's happened in a long time, I don't think. So I think it's kind of a match made in heaven, to be honest. I think it'll work out. I do think that one of the worst jobs you could possibly have this year, like I'm talking any jobs in America, would be playing center for the Sacramento Kings, trying to play defense with Zach LaVine and Acuff out there, because your life is going to be very tough. But I'll say, I think Acuff will be very successful in the NBA, and I think that Sacramento is a really good spot for him. We got the bald commissioner out here. You know, he deserves as many boos as Goodell gets, to be honest. Absolutely. Here we go. They're doing a little Knicks thing. Global Picture Studios agree. I guess that was on Acuff. Yeah, I like Acuff a lot. Who do y'all like the most out of those guards? Do you like Acuff? Do you like Wagler? Do you like Flemings? Michael Brown? I got first three. I got AJ. I'm going chalk. I'm going AJ Peterson Boozer. It'd be cool though if Boozer does get up at two though, because having his dad in the front office there is actually pretty sweet. Uh, Also, shout out Mike L, new subscriber. Thank you very much. We're on the road to 500. Thank you so much, Mike. Um, Man, they only got 5 minutes on the timer. Bro, I'm used to NFL drafts. This is way better. That's crazy. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I can get the draft timer on the screen just so you guys can just follow along and like sync up your stuff. You said global pictures, you like A cuff. Yeah, bro. A cuff is too sure of a thing that if I was the Clippers at 5, I know I have Garland, but man, I, I might just I might just do it. But it sounds like they've had a ton of conversations about trades and stuff too. So who even knows with that? Let's see, I'm gonna put this timer on a screen so you guys can sync up if you want to throughout the night. I think that'll be cool. That's the wrong thing. Memphis Acuff. That would be crazy. That would be really really out of left field, but that'd be awesome. Those are the kind of moves I love. I'm circling the Nets at 6 to do something crazy, you know, because they always have a different board than everybody else. But I'd love to see the A cuff love in the chat. He's such a great player. All right, we're gonna get this out of here so ESPN doesn't get us, but we are gonna keep this up because I want y'all to be able to sync up throughout the night. From Brazil, that is awesome. Thank you so much. Um, that's so cool, man. This is the first live stream I've done on this channel, and to see a Pistons fan from Brazil in the chat, that's the coolest thing. That's why I started this channel. I want to be able to talk Pistons basketball with people all around the world. Um, I'm in Cincinnati now, so like I'm not even close to a bunch of people that love the Pistons like I do. So I love seeing that all over the country, all over the planet. Oh, I think I see what happened. I lost my subscriber thing. Dang it! You definitely let me know where y'all are tuning in from. That's awesome to hear. That's really cool. All right, going to my tools, my overlays. All right, we're adding that sub thing back on there because I want to keep track of that tonight. Detroit's 2 players away. Yeah, we're it upgraded to 4, and then it's another dynamic guard. I think, man, like we'd be pretty scary. A legitimate contender. The problem is the 4 is going to be so tough to get this year. You know, that's I think we're really going to try to get up and get Yaxel. This man, not a lot of the guys available are good offensive players and good enough on defense to where we can keep the strength of our team together. You know, the pick is in, y'all. And this is the worst part is that the pick is in for so long before they actually get to it. It takes forever. And I can't believe that the draft is 2 nights now. So we need Yaxel. I agree. Global Picture Studios. I'm gonna pin that. We need him. He'd be so perfect for this team. And there's guards I like too. But man, here we go. Yep. There's AJ. And hopefully this draft list on the side populates correctly. All right, AJ DeBonsa. Doc says yaks, yaks, yaks. Yep, yep, yep. Look, DeBonsa is, I think, a really good fit with the Wizards roster, though. I mean, they need guys that can get to the rim. They don't have a lot of guys that can do that. They have a lot of fun perimeter players, but they don't have a lot of guys that are going to be great rim finishers. I think AJ's a great basketball fit there. I've heard people give the Peterson pitch, and I can see what they're saying, but I mean, I think it's pretty easy for the Wizards, to be honest. But yeah, I appreciate all the yaks of love in the chat. That's the energy I'm trying to pour into this today. Um, it's gonna be so heartbreaking when he goes off. If he goes off the board before the Pistons get to move up for him, man, I'd be devastated. Yeah, AJ's a monster, man. So that's interesting. Shams didn't tweet out the pick. Hmm. That's like the first time I feel like that's happened. Um, I mean, do y'all remember when Cade was picked? Shams tweeted out the Pistons were picking Cade at like 2 p.m. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it was not. It was early, which was great for me. I mean, look, I was excited. I was stressed out that day. Y'all remember they were trying to get this like Evan Mobley at number one kind of thing going, and I was not having it. I was stressed out. Yaxel, 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 yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Thank you, Camille, for the subscription. I appreciate you. AJ's here with his family. Also, as y'all can see, I got the Pistons draft hat here. This is not usually my style, but saw it in the shop and I said I gotta wear that for the stream, man. Said in green, yeah, no, they were doing some devious stuff. To be honest, though, it sounds like Troy Weaver was like obsessed with Evan Mobley, and people had to like step in to make sure they picked Cade. Um, he almost sent the franchise back. So shout out the Pelicans for their current general manager, and he is just. I can't believe the asking price. It's not just Murphy; it's Herb Jones. They're demanding 2 first-round picks. How? I don't know, man. the The problem he had in Detroit was like by the time he was fired, we didn't accumulate any assets because if y'all remember, like the Bojan Bogdanovic, they were asking for a first-round pick plus a young player, and like it's Bojan Bogdanovic, man. Like you just gotta. There was a points when they could have got an asset for him or two little ones, and they just we never got nothing for him. And it feels like that's what's happening with the Pelicans. I mean, we'll see, man. But they've had a crazy start. The Utah's pick is in. I'm wondering where they're going to go here. I feel like it's Peterson, but Boozer could happen. Also, before we move on to number two, I'm going to read these no ceilings little blurbs about each player. Just so if y'all aren't familiar with them, you can get a little bit of info. For AJ, it said if you were to build an NBA superstar wing prospect in a laboratory, this is how they would look. Tremendous tools with a ridiculous upside waiting to be untapped, but the defensive consistency is the key to unlocking him. And the three player concern or comps they have for him are Jalen Brown, Paul George, and Tracy McGrady. The Cade and seeing Cade in a Rockets or Cleveland jersey would have made me vomit. Whoever smacked them out of, yeah, dude. It's I forget who I heard that it was, but it was like one of those other front office dudes that's been in the Pistons forever. But yeah, so someone had to like shake him up and say, "Dude, you gotta pick the right guy. This is not that hard." So, um, man, Utah here. You're going Boozer. The only reason I'd say probably not would just be they have so many front court players right now, and they're sounds like they're gonna retain Walker Kessler no matter what. We're about to get the announcement though, so let's get it. It's Darren Peterson. I think he's such. Utah's gonna be so good this year. I'm excited to watch them. They just have so much talent, man. And I was kind of like, I think Jaren Jackson would have been such a cool basketball fit with the Pistons. Uh, his contract was just so huge that I mean, they wouldn't have been able to retain Duran and extend Asar and everything if they made that move for him. Um, but him, Laurie, Darren Peterson, Keontae George, that's a really talented team, dude. What do y'all think about Peterson? Seriously though, you think Warriors take Yax at 11, or does he actually make the slide? All right, Doc, this is what I'm thinking. I think the Warriors, I'm like 50-50 if they would go with Yaxel or if they'd pick. If Braden Burries falls to 11, they'll take Burries. If he doesn't, it'll be between Yaxel and maybe Mara if he doesn't get taken at 8. And if it's between those two guys, I think they'd go either way. But what I'm rooting for is going to be it sounds like the Warriors have been in on some Trey Murphy stuff because they're trying to get to the lottery to take Nate Ament, which is a hilarious thing, by the way. We'll talk about Nate Ament later. Um, but if they can trade with 11, the Pelicans, and draft Ament at 11, to me, that kind of clears out some space to where if he falls to like 14, 15, 16, that's where we can move up to get him. Is that anytime they come to Kobe, they're going to be a bust. Hey, well, to be honest, I've seen a lot of Kobe stuff like for a while, and it's mostly been about his high school tape. Like, not even really. Obviously, his college experience was hampered by injuries and his weird stuff. But his explosiveness in high school, just a year before, was what got people super super excited. Uh, their rundown of Peterson in the No Ceilings draft guide says a do-it-all guard whose season was derailed by nagging injuries. When healthy, Peterson can be a lockdown defender, primary creator, and or off-ball scorer. He's one of the most complete guard prospects in recent years. Um, yeah, his defense is really really good. I think that's the part that people kind of don't really talk about for him, but he has a chance to be this a super impactful player on both ends. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm hoping we can get up for Yaxel, but we're not the only team. That's I guess the Spurs are also interested in moving up for him. I feel like the buzz to me, I think Trajan's pretty motivated to get that done. And I think Stu could be the piece they use to get it, along with the 21st pick and then some other stuff, but we'll see. Said a truly cursed comp, Kobe Bryant did to himself, the mom curse. Yeah, no, it's a tough comp to get, man. And the pick is in for number 3 with Memphis. We got chalk so far, and shout out Shams for not spoiling nothing. That's pretty crazy. It was kind of crazy how that weird little moment when it seemed like Peterson was trying to avoid going to Utah, though, because I feel like Utah is the best basketball fit for him out of any of the top 3. But Utah doesn't care. Last year they picked Ace Bailey, and he didn't want to go there either. He seems fine now, so he's an interesting piece. I'm curious to see how Ace Bailey develops. I wasn't huge on him, but did Memphis go A drop Morant? Yeah, I think Acuff's looking more around that 5 and 6 range, maybe, and then 7 if it'd be his floor with the Kings. I like how they're when they finally get to the next team, they're saying no, Memphis is on the clock. Memphis's pick has been in for 3 minutes, you know. But maybe later in the draft is when they'll catch up a little bit more. Where do you guys want Ja to go? Any teams you want to see him play for next year? And then what do you guys think of Caleb Wilson? We haven't talked about Caleb Wilson at all. You said not here. Definitely not. Yeah, we'll tune into number 3 right here, and then we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, my mock is 100%, y'all. Well, not the one I posted because that was a 2-person mock. Uh, the one that I did by myself. Memphis Boozer. Yeah, extremely productive player. He's got elite feel for the game. He's a super super fun offensive player, man. He can do every single thing. He's he to be able to do that at his size is pretty crazy. You like Caleb Prophet? And then Global says you want Jotto to Miami? Yeah, that could be that'd be cool. They do need some. I don't know, man. They need some shooting though when they're in the starting lineup. Like Bam, like he shot a lot of threes last year, but he shot like 20 something percent, and that's not really Giannis's thing. So yeah, good picks 1, 2, and 3. All right, now number 5 is where the draft's really gonna get going. 4 we know what's gonna happen with Caleb Wilson, man. But number 5 is where the draft starts. I'm so excited to see where these guys land because I've been non-stop listening to draft content and reading every article, where everyone like all the teams who they want, what every player's best fit would be. And I just need to see it happen. I'm done with that. Say Caleb played D. Yeah, Caleb is really really fun to watch, man. He's an incredible athlete. And when he played against these other guys this last past season, these other top three picks, he beat them all. The Pistons are odd team out. I thought they'd make a move. They could. If you're looking for the Pistons to move up, you're going to be looking at. I wouldn't expect it to happen at the earliest, like 11, but I think more likely like around 15 or so. Giannis in the best city in USA. My mic's low. Here, let me fix that for you. I don't know what's going on with that. Um, Hold on. Is that better? I think that's gonna be better. Thank you, bus driver Brent. I appreciate it. I'm just trying not to clip for y'all, but I guess I had it a little too low. And the Bulls picks in at 4. Yeah, no, I appreciate it because I hate when I'm watching a stream and like the mics, I can't turn it loud enough on my phone. So thank you so much, man. Good, good. This is the first time I'm going live on this channel, so I figured today would be kind of a you know learning experience in the beginning. But I appreciate y'all being here and kind of helping me get comfortable with this live streams type of thing. And I feel like it's easier if I got co-host on here, but I'm going solo with y'all tonight. So, but I can't, like I said, I can't wait for number 5 here. We really get going. For y'all just coming in the chat, let me know who you want the Pistons to pick at 21. We've kind of talked to a few guys. Uh, I'm not gonna touch that. We've talked about a few guys so far. We've talked a little bit about Okori, definitely some Yaxel. But let me know, is there anyone else y'all want the Pistons to take, or you're scared that we're gonna take? You did a great job. Thank you, Prophet. Appreciate you. All right, we got a little information, y'all. According to Brett Siegel, he said after taking Cam Boozer, the Grizzlies are trying to move up in the lottery from the 16th pick. Sebastian said, "Bring Yaxel home. I need it." It's rare that like I'm not even a big Michigan guy, but he's just the perfect fit for our team right now, and he's probably the best player that could step in day one and contribute really well. Like it's rare that that all lines up. And at first, I thought we weren't even gonna be anywhere near him, but man, if he can drop to 15, if he can do it, we can do it. All right, we're pretty chalk now. Top 4. Y'all are gonna scare me in the chat because if you just type like Yaxel, uh, I'm just gonna think that he just got picked, and I got to go find it on Twitter. But yeah, Yaxel's who I want as well. The fit is just unreal. I'm stepping into that game as well with the Pistons draft hat. Thank you very much. I saw a video earlier of all the prospects saying who they emulate their game off of, and then at the end, Caleb Wilson just goes, "Kobe Bryant," and it, everyone else's picks were like guys in the NBA that their styles are similar to. Caleb's just he don't care, dude. He's a competitor, and I think that's probably what he's talking about. But he's got such a great personality. Um, he's just all about winning, man. There's been so many quotes of his that just made me laugh so much. He said Isaiah Evans from Duke would be solid at 21. I'm kind of torn on him. I don't know if I think he's going to be better than the other guys available at that pick. I think fit wise, I mean, we need shooting. You're right, and he will be a good movement shooter. I think there's other guys that can kind of do a little bit more than just one primary skill around that spot, and maybe we can get shooting cheaper elsewhere. I hope. You said Chad says the Heat have another move to bring someone to Miami. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll they have to be creative now with what they do, right? Because sounds like they might not even be able to bring back Norm Powell, which is kind of surprising to me, man. I didn't think they'd be getting rid of both Hero and Powell this offseason, but I guess if you can get Giannis and get Giannis, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve. All right, the draft is starting now at 8:32, and yeah, man, I don't know. I heard the Clippers like Braden Burries. They like Keaton Wagler, like Michael Brown, Acuff. There's so many ways they could go with this pick. If y'all are in the chat for the first time, definitely throw me a sub if you don't mind. If you like this content, if you want to see more Pistons content, trying to get to 500 subscribers. That's my first big goal on the channel. So I appreciate everyone taking the time just to stop by for a minute and chat with me a little bit. But if you like what you hear, definitely throw me a sub. I really appreciate it. And also, if y'all like the video, it will help people, I guess, find the video. Is what I've been told. So if y'all don't mind hitting the like button as well, it's a small thing you can do, but it's huge for the channel. As my guy, The Rock doesn't stop, would say. Prophet wants to go Michael Brown here. He is a very boomer bust like every play kind of guy. If you like those home run hitters that strike out whenever they don't hit a home run, that's your kind of guy. Might have the biggest upside out of these guards, to be honest. Um, I don't know. It's really exciting, and I'm getting nervous, man. I'm getting nervous about this Axel thing. I know it's gonna be a minute before that even comes to fruition, but I'm really invested in getting Axel. I'm too emotionally invested. I got too excited earlier. I watched too many highlights. Man, who's this gonna be? So this draft thing is not updating. It's supposed to be live. Okay, I guess it is now. Detroit native, Darius Acuff. A little prepared with the draft guide up. Yep, here comes the guards. I don't know if I agree with the Wagler and Halliburton comp, to be honest. Oh, okay. So this this website is gonna be yep, Wagler at 5, and I guess this ESPN thing is gonna be faster than the the video. So I don't know. Should I keep it up there? Maybe I'll move it down that I can see Ja on the Pels. Yeah, I mean that's where I would have said, to be honest. But I think I saw an article today that said that because of they want to prioritize fears, they're not gonna trade for Ja. Um, you never know. I mean, they're the Pelicans. Uh, but I think that's definitely a team to look at. All right, we're just gonna kind of move this down one extra spot. What do you guys think about Keaton Wagler? The No Ceilings guide says Keaton Wagler has all the skills and size you want in a modern NBA guard. The IQ and nuance he plays with on both ends of the floor, combined with his talent, are what makes him dangerous. Their pros for him are outside shooting, getting downhill, and his offensive IQ. And their negatives is his frame. Number one, said he has good height. He's 6'5", but he's only 188 pounds. His athleticism, he's not. He only had attempted one dunk on the season and he missed it. So he's not the uber athlete you might be looking for there. But their comps for him are Halliburton, like they said in the SGA, which is, I mean, how are you going to compare a guy? And then Austin Reeves. So no ceiling's got to like him a lot. You said honestly though, this draft seems so deep. I think we'll be good with whoever, even if they get 21. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I would love to move up for Yaks or Cam Carr, but there's a chance the guy at 21 is just great. And I'm glad we got 21 in this year. Shout out to Trajan for that move because 28's not like quite looking as good as 20. If you think there's a big drop off around like the top 25 ish prospects, and maybe one of the top 25 is going to fall to 28, but we lucked out with that. So shout out Trajan for making that trade at the deadline. Yeah, one dunk attempt and he missed it. So not the athlete, but you know he's absolutely very skilled offensive player. Shot 40% from three on a lot of attempts, a lot of self-created attempts. My God, that's Duncan Robinson's music. Oh my God. Yeah, that is a crazy stat. He scored 18 a game this year, 4 assists. He had a really good offensive system though. He played with two stretch bigs. Um, Not very many college guards play with two stretch bigs, so I think the people that think his ceiling maybe isn't quite there, they think he's in too good of a situation compared to the other guards. If the Pistons stay at 21, I'm leaning Sturts or Evans. Prefer Evans because his contested 3 point percentage and 3 point percentage off the dribble are really good. I could see that. Yeah, and he can like dribble, pull, have a little like headsy pull up. Um, he has some skills to be able to be a good pull up shooter in the NBA. I guess it's for me, it's everything else with him. I think he'll be able to. He has the tools to. He should be okay defensively at some point. Just not a lot of creation for others. So I'm almost leaning towards a guy like EBUKA Okori, where his shot's not quite as good. Obviously, like he only shot 34% from three, but he was such a great scorer on the inside. Gets to the paint at ease, even though he's a little smaller. But those two guys are kind of opposites to me, right? Like their main thing is just different. So different strokes. All right, the Nets pick is going to be wild. Profit, I'm guessing you'd take Michael Brown. Who would y'all take next out of these, or maybe you Acuff? I know we got a lot of Acuff fans in the chat, so I'm sure if I ask who y'all would want to take every pick for, it's gonna be Acuff till he's off the board. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of weird Nate Ament rumors. I don't buy that. There's no way. Wagler over Acuff. I don't know if I would have done that. I understand they wanted a guy that's more off ball, but I don't know. Said Michael Brown. Yeah, that's what I think they're going to go with here. All right. Well, the Nets made their pick. You want Yaks? Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's Michael Brown. Definitely an upside swing here. The Sturts is a good option with ball usage around 27%, but super low turnover rate and good 3-point shooter. Yeah, I think he'd be cool. A lot of people talk about him being for sure like a good off ball player, and he's never really played off ball. Like such a high usage rate at every level. It's more hypothetical. The catch and shoot numbers are good, but it's like so small because he does everything by himself. Um, but I think he could. I think he could theoretically do it, and he's an okay enough team defender. Should be fine. Clips used to make bad decisions all the time. Maybe they wanted to get back to their roots. Yeah, the Clippers have been pretty, you know, wild with some of their decision making for sure. Um, now I'll say number 7 here, guys. This feels like the chalkiest pick since number 4. You know, I like this tweet from Czar here. He's where was it? He said I was expecting Keaton Wagler's dad to be emotional, and he just starts talking about how his son is a killer. He was talking. Malik at 21 wouldn't be bad. I think he's gonna be more of a second round guy. I saw some of his workouts, and he looks really stiff. I don't know what it. Something about his form and the way he just moves is kind of strange to me. But definitely a decent scorer. I think we could probably get him honestly, maybe day 2 if we do want to move up to this early second round. And look, I know a lot of people have Michael Brown as their top point guard. A lot of people have him as like their fifth. I think he's very hit or miss depending who you talk to. So let me pull up his draft guide description as we kind of go to Michael talking. So his description says he's a creative, bouncy, shifty lead guard who can play on or off the ball with a star level shooting projection, innovative playmaking vision, and a handle that leaves defenders frozen. One of just 3 players since 2008, alongside Curry and Trae Young, to hit assist percentage over 30, 3-point attempts per 100 possessions over 14, free throw percentage over 84%, and free throw rate over 35. Um, Lots of some. So if y'all are into advanced stats, there you go. I didn't know that's gonna be so advanced stats heavy. Um, you said, I mean, if there's talk about possibly trading Ron, are we really worrying about developing players anymore? Sounds like we're not into the potential trade anymore. It- yeah, I mean, it's a fair question. I think where that comes into play is I don't think we'd be looking at guys like Kristen Ack Jr., who is probably about 3 or 4 years away from being a impactful player. Um, I think a lot of the guys at 21 can kind of find a way to contribute off the bench. I don't know how many of them though will be able to come in and play playoff minutes next year. I think Yaxel would. Maybe Joshua Jefferson if we went with a forward slash big. And then at the guard position, maybe Sturtzer or Corey or I don't know if Christian Anderson would be able to play in the playoffs next year. I don't know. It's tough. Even Cam Carr, like you know, the only pick I think that can make the Pistons defense better this year out of the rumored guys is Yaxel. I think Cam Carr has defensive tools, but he's very inconsistent on defense. And if Ron didn't get minutes, I mean maybe he will step his shooting a little bit, but we'll see. There it is, Acuff. The Bob Cousy point guard of the year, y'all. And I can't wait for this Pistons pick. It's not going too slow. I mean, I guess it kind of is. It's only pick 7. We're at 8:47. We'll be here a while. Yeah, we all know who we're all here for. We are. All right, the Acuff summary says the lead guard who can orchestrate and score. Acuff blends traditional point guard feel with modern shot making. His ability to create advantages gives him real offensive engine upside as efficiency and physical strength continue to develop. And their comps are 1 Darius Garland, 2 Damian Lillard, and 3 Trey Jones. Just a fantastic score. Opponents converted 64% of their attempts at the basket against Arkansas. Jeez. A lot of bounce, nice handle, smooth jumper, top notch guard. Yeah, I mean, is exceptional at running the pick and roll. Great shooter. Scored really high percentage on his 2 point attempts. 38% off his dribble jumper threes. Uh, yeah, just a fantastic offensive player. I think he's the perfect star for the Kings. When I can scroll up so you can't we don't get spoiled, I'm gonna do that. For now, I'm gonna keep it down here. It is pretty cool that the Scott Perry, their GM or president, coached his dad back at Eastern Kentucky. That's a pretty wild connection there. But it's you know it seems like he's been tied to the Kings the whole entire process. All right, y'all. Eight's really interesting. Eight is very interesting, and they're going to commercial, of course. Um, there was rumors today of Jalen Brown in Atlanta maybe happening. apparently the Hawks have had discussions to trade. They did have discussions to trade up, but also back. I am very interested to see where they're going to go. The pick is in, so it looks like they're not moving it, at least not yet. Um, it could always be one of those situations where someone gets picked and they wear the wrong hat, and then in a few minutes we find out that they're traded elsewhere. Um, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens here. Let's see. Who would y'all go with for the Hawks? Best available on ESPN's board. They got Flemings, Ament, Mara, Burries. That's kind of the group we're probably looking at here. So that Ament, I know he's a high ceiling guy just because of his size and his skill. He just didn't really show it in college in his first year. I'm a little scared of Ament, to be honest. I'm a little scared of him top 10. I think if he, I think he's gonna go 9. But Milwaukee also, I guess they have a connection with him too. Is their owner Jimmy Haslam is one of the big donors at Tennessee, and I've heard that they like him too. So I don't. I think Steinlein today said that Dallas was really considering him at 9, and that they went out and saw him this weekend. Said Flemings. Yeah, I can see it because I think the cool thing about Flemings to Atlanta is he could come off the bench at the start of the year if they wanted to. They have enough guards, with getting Aaron Wiggins that they could start Wiggins and Nah and Dyson Daniels, or they could start Flemings, or later in the year they switch to Flemings. Either way, I think he would give them an opportunity to kind of get comfortable a little bit. And he obviously also plays good defense, and he kind of fits in with those other guards that defend pretty well in Atlanta. Um, with him, it's his frame that people are not sure about. Like if he's going to be able to fill out eventually. Uh, but if he can, I mean, he has really good feel for the game. Very good defender. Um, he's got really good speed. He can change speeds really fast. Um, just a really like a winning player. I mean, yeah, I think he'd be great. So let's see. Here we go. It's Flemings. All right, so that guard group now is kind of all depleted. We're getting to the actual range, y'all. I'm getting scared. I'm gonna step away just for a second, and go to the bathroom real quick so I don't have to pause before the Pistons pick. But I'll see y'all in just 1 second. All right. Told y'all. Fleming's to Atlanta is a really, like I said, I think it's a really cool landing spot for him. I wonder about his 3-point shooting. He shot 38% from three, but he only shot 3 attempts a game. So he's gonna have to, do it at a little higher volume in the NBA. And his mechanics are kind of weird. I don't know if y'all saw the highlights they showed on the ESPN stream, but that's gonna be another concern um, for him is how he's gonna be able to shoot the three at the NBA level. The No Ceilings guide says he's a speed demon who plays with fantastic change of gears and the poise of an upperclassman guard, a bucket getting machine who could unlock another galaxy with his two-way upside if the outside shot continues to progress. All right, the Mavs are on the clock. The pick is in for the Mavs. All right, this is where it's going to get crazy. I'm going to scroll up a little bit so I don't see chat, so I don't get spoiled on this one. No, I'm rooting for craziness. I'm rooting for Nate Ament. Uh, yeah, because we'll get into him. Also, Josh Prince earlier mentioned Trey Murphy to Detroit next, pick 21. Um, I'd love Trey Murphy, but it sounds like the Pelicans want a lottery pick. There's Dusty May. Anyone Michigan fans in the chat? Let me know how you feel about Dusty leaving on the day before the draft like he did. That's pretty crazy. Um, yeah, just a really weird timing. But look, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they picked a Michigan player here too. I think all the Michigan guys could fit there well. Probably besides, I mean, Yaxel. I don't know. I don't think Yaxel will be next to Flag. Um, they kind of both optimally would play at the same position, but I think Mara playing with Flag would be really cool. I think Morez Johnson would be cool. Um, yeah, I'm intrigued. I wonder if the Ament is a smokescreen. This is Masai's first pick for Dallas. Uh, they got the Dusty insight into who wants the Michigan players because think about it, the coaches of the NBA they've been talking to Dusty all off season, asking him questions about his players. So he probably knows more about what teams are interested in Yaxel and Mara and Morez than any other coach in the NBA. So that's really interesting to me. Man, this is where it gets exciting, y'all. I'm really pumped up. We got Adam Silver out here. Let's see what's gonna happen. Morez Johnson. Okay, it's the native meant was a smoke screen. It's Morez Johnson. What an awesome player, you guys. That is awesome. I want to pull up the yeah, Dusty brought Morez with him. That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Wow. I'll be honest, guys. I saw the bottom of this thing. It said forward Michigan, and I was like, yeah, I was about to shit myself. I thought they took Yaxel. I was like, there's no way they took him at 9. Right after I said Yaxel and Cooper Flag would not be a good fit together. Yeah, Dusty knows Morez's potential. Absolutely. Um, just a really awesome player, dude. If we were getting rid of Stu, I was like, that's kind of the perfect player to bring in, that would do all those things and maybe even have more upside. Um, It said that he does all the things that your stars don't want to do, from crashing the boards, setting screens, defending everybody, and they mean everybody. He can defend guards, and being a low maintenance play finisher, he's the epitome of a winning player. The cons of him is that he's kind of a tweener. You know, he's a few inches. If he was a few inches shorter, he would have been a higher pick. Um, he's a little small to be a full time center, and a lot of his skills are that of a center. Uh, he doesn't really create his own shot or shoot the ball well, but he does every single other thing. Just an absolutely winning player, the type of player that you bring in and you do not worry about him hustling, making the right plays, and playing hard every single night. So I'm gonna be so sad if Stu leaves, but man, he is the one piece everyone wants. He's the piece that people actually want and value, and he's the guy that we have the most depth at his position. You know, like I think Paul Reed has earned a bigger role, and I would have been okay if they would have said we'll just trade Paul Reed, but you know, I think they want to extend Paul Reed, and it's just kind of what it is. It sucks though. You're right. It sucks. I hate it. Yeah, like it's Stu light. If Stu could defend like maybe a little bit smaller of guys than he does, um, he reminds me a lot of him. The players that the no ceilings guy compared him to is Al Horford, Isaiah Stewart, and Musa Diabate. Um, he just said that because they just told him at the draft. I think your coach has something to do with this. He said it's just the second day, maybe a little bit, but like clearly the Mavericks liked me before that, right? Man, I'm excited to see him and play with Cooper Flag. And we're about to get the first of two Bucks picks. So Shams is doing this weird thing tonight. He didn't post any of the actual picks. Um, but he did a vague post. He said, "I have a feeling the new Dallas Mavericks coach Dusty May will be bringing a Wolverine up next at number 9 in his new job." What is he doing? He just had a weird offseason, that Shams guy. Just really weird behavior. I don't get it. This draft is deep. We're getting a good player. I agree. I want to move up for Yaxel, but if we don't, I think we can still get someone that I want. This is the way I'll put it. Also, thank you guys to all y'all that have been in this chat for the whole thing. Prophet, Doc, Global Picture Studios, Josh, Justin, Bus Driver, Brent. All y'all are. I appreciate y'all being here with me and watching this draft together. I'm sure we'll see some more faces around the time the Pistons pick, but thank you guys for sticking with me throughout. And I know there's some of y'all that are just kind of lurking, so appreciate you guys too. I saw today a tweet. I have to show you this because like the Bucks drafting under their current general manager John Horst is abysmal. And I know they haven't used a lot of their picks because of trades. Where is this? When did I? Okay. So Milwaukee has only taken 4 first round picks since their general manager got the job in 2017. They've only drafted 4 first round picks. Those players are Marjan Beauchamp, AJ Johnson, DJ Wilson, blast from the past, and Dante DiVincenzo. That's the only four players the Bucks have drafted in the first round since 2017. What? Like that's insane. And here comes Adam Silver. Oh no, because okay, the Warriors were gonna take Burries at 11. The Warriors were absolutely gonna take Burries at 11. You guys, I think this puts us a little bit in Yaxel watch here. With Golden State, I'm a little bit nervous about it. Shouldn't that get you fired? It should. I mean, but I guess when I mean they did win a championship, so I guess that kind of usually resets the timeline. But it indeed should. I mean, that's crazy. But Braden Burries, I mean, look, he's just the best player on the board, and the Bucks made the right pick this time. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous though now about number 11. I'm a little bit nervous. Yeesh. Okay. Maybe we're in trade alert now. Um, Trey Murphy talks have been associated with this pick a little bit. The longer Trey Murphy doesn't get traded, makes me feel like we have more of a shot to get him. Only because I think the reason the Pelicans kind of kept going up from what our offer was at when it sounded like a deal was going to happen was because they wanted a pick early in the lottery in this draft. And if they don't get that, I think they do like our offer. Now, if we use Stewart in a move up, that's not going to happen. So that's kind of the risk of doing it. And that's why I'm glad we didn't do Hero yesterday. Is doing Hero yesterday or today would have just basically limited us just to make one move up, and hopefully the team likes the guy we have left. Um, yeah, I know. Like, I'm not going to be able to focus as much on these prospects now for these other teams because, man, I am getting nervous about about the Pistons and who we might be able to get. But we'll talk some of these prospects as we go. But man, it's getting a little close now, y'all. Also, shout out to Smokey62 Productions. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you joining us. We're on the road to 500 subs. I'm looking at soon opening a Discord because I want to be able to engage with y'all more, talk Pistons basketball with y'all directly. Doc said I do not want to overpay for him. So many people just started to get good and then mess themselves up. Yeah, big stupid overpays. I know it's so hard because you don't want to wait until too late to capitalize on having a real shot, you know. And I think Pistons fans were just in a weird spot because we've never, when we've been involved in these trade talks, we've never had like only good, only productive players to trade. The only guy I think we can really dump is Karis LeVert. You know what I mean? That we don't really care about. Other than that, to match salary for any of these guys making 30 million, it's at least going to be one of Stewart, Duncan Robinson, Ron Holland, like with Karis LeVert, and teams don't really want Karis LeVert, so it might be two of them. That sucks. I am not a fan of the rumored, like the fact that the Pistons were seemingly going to be giving up Stu, Duncan, and Ron for Hero. That's not it for me. I think that's a really bad move. I'll be honest. So I'm not a fan of that. I'd be willing to give a little bit more than that for Trey Murphy though. Ron, Stu, and two first. That was the rumored package going to the Pelicans was going to be Ron, Stu, uh, Sasser, and two first, 27 and 29. and it sounded like that was something the Pistons were comfortable doing. And then the Pelicans basically were like, "We need more than that." And Trajan came to the press conference the next day and basically was like, "We're not getting robbed. Like, we are not like, yeah, we're not going to let a team take advantage of us. So y'all can screw off with that." I think what happened is the Pelicans were like, "Wait a second, we want to get picks in this draft. We want to get Nate Ament, who's from the DMV, as a Troy Weaver guy. They wanted to get him, or I think one other guy, I forget who it was, but yeah, I think Trajan was right to back away. I'm wondering after the draft what it does to the Pelicans' asking price. Good things come to those who wait. A few pieces away, but got to add the right pieces. That is the perfect way to put a profit. Yeah, Dave Mara is a definitely possible pick here, though. I'm hoping that's where the Warriors go. Oh, there he is. They're showing Yaks on the screen. Oh, and the pick is in. Oh my god, you guys! I am so stressed out. Oh my god, this is such a huge swing right here in this draft. What happens with the Warriors at 11? And look, the Thunder could just take Yaks at 12, and then this is all pointless. But the report from Brett Siegel of Clutch Points today said that if Yaxel gets past 11, he's expected to slip to potentially 15 to 18, and then there'll be teams trying to trade up for him, being the Spurs and the Pistons. I don't know if I believe that 100%. Maybe there's a team in there that's been like really coy about their interest in Yaxel that's just going to take him. But if he slides a little bit, I think we can get him. I know my chat's ready for Yaks. I'm gonna try to post this link again. You're on Yaks Watch. All right, so the Warriors stick at 11 here. They made their pick. What do y'all think? What is going to happen, you guys? Here it is. Oh my god. Don't be Axel. No. Bro. How did this? Oh my god. Okay. That's why I was so worried with when they picked berries at 10 because the Warriors had Burries as their top player by all accounts. Man, that's a tough beat, chat. That is a tough beat. I'm gonna unpin our Yaxel message because we got to move on. That sucks. Seen it coming. Yeah. The Axel would have been the perfect fit for us too, man. Like that's just we watched. So disappointing. Docs, you're taking a minute to cope. I know, I get it. And Mara just falls to OKC at 12, by the way. That's shameful. Yeah, I think you're who said Mara's next profited. Yeah, that's 100% right. There's no way they don't take Mara here at 12. Dang it, man. I mean, Yax is a great fit for the Warriors. I was hoping we had a chance. All right. And I'm sure we weren't going to be able to move up 10 spots. Like that was just going to be ridiculous. It was going to be way more than a future pick. So if you're upset that the Pistons didn't do that, that's just probably wasn't realistic. We just had to hope that he slipped to 14, 15, you know. Yeah, 3 Michigan guys in the lottery. Um absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Mara's not getting past. I mean, I'd say either of the next any all the next 3 teams should pick Mara probably. Yeah, I know 13's going to Milwaukee, but they could definitely use Mara. If for some reason the Thunder don't pick him, I think the Thunder will with one of their picks though. Okay, now do y'all want the Pistons to move up for Cam Carr, or are you just okay with rocking with whatever happens at 21? I think Carr is going to go to the Bulls at 15. So if you're not moving up for him, let's say you're not getting him, what would you rather do? So my whole entire draft hopes were just in the Axel dropping and going to us. Either way, and promise to let it roll. Yeah, eat my feelings now. Yeah, what's your draft meal? I went with pizza. What a disappointing moment. And Yax is just such a Warriors player too. Thrift K. Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, wait for 21. Yeah, I think we'll get a good player at 21. I'm I'm personally hoping for a Corey. I think Ibuka Okori would be great. I could see. I know y'all like Evans. We've talked about a few different guys. You go ham sandwich, so you don't get upset that we didn't get Yaxon. Yeah, I had too much Italian cheese bread. I might be sick. Yeah, you might be able to tolerate the rest of the draft. That was a gut check. Only the strong remain. Oh no, my cat has found my mic cord. Please don't. If I get disconnected, give me a second. Thank you. All right, pick number 12 is in, y'all. Y'all, we're picking this draft pretty well. We're doing a really good job with this. 9 through 12, 3 out of 4 Michigan players. Yes, they will. Mara's a really fun player, dude. You think Phylon could drop to 21? He could. I've actually seen people tying him a lot to the Bucks, and I wonder if they think that Phylon and Burries could be a good like tandem in their backcourt. I think that would be really cool. I mean, be very young, but that's what they're going to be doing is getting younger. And I think taking Burries, it makes me more confident they're going to move Hero. On the Pistons, it makes me more uh less likely to give them assets because I know they don't really want to have Hero on the team blocking Braden Berry's as their off guard. They shouldn't have leverage. He said, I mean, if OKC didn't pick Mara, we probably have to do a well check. Absolutely, dude. We have to make sure he's really running the team. Um, they got an interesting front court now. I don't know about y'all. I was watching the Thunder and Spurs series. I had so much fun. It was like also very painful because of some of the ways the games were called. But what a crazy series to watch! And obviously, I don't think Mars is like the Wemby answer, but that'll be crazy seeing them go 1-on-1 against each other next year. Uh, yeah, there's a very interesting player, Mara. Very offensively skilled, great passer, great playmaker. Yeah, it's about to get real interesting because looking ahead at the board here, we have the Bucks and then the first of two Hornets picks. I think the Hornets are going to target a big man with one of these. I think maybe this one because they know, I don't know, because Mara's gone, so maybe they think they can squeak by the Bulls and the Grizzlies. And the Thunder just took Mara, so then maybe they can just get their big with 18. So maybe they go with Cam Carr or a guard at 14. I think the Bulls would go with Carr at 15, like I said earlier. Maybe they go guard though. They could be a Phylon or an Anderson. My cat is back. Get out of here. Yeah, Mara is really cool. I think for me, I wanted to see Mara in Golden State, not just because of selfish reasons, which were part of it, but just seeing him play with Steph Curry, I think would have been really fun. The Thunder pick at number 12, by the way, uh, the Paul George trade is now completely settled with that pick. I'm surprised at how little movement there's been. I thought there would be more trading going on, and I'm sure there will be around the 20s, like right after the Pistons pick, but not really anything going on yet. So that's pretty notable. All right, looks like they're going to commercial. I'm going to run and grab some water real quick, but I will be right back. Doc, you said you wonder what we're gonna do with all those second round picks. I don't know. Um, maybe we'll just use them because I think we're gonna try to make two moves. I think we're gonna try to make a move for a four, and I think we might also try to make a move for a shooting guard. In one of those, we're probably gonna be able to get away with just a couple of players, like maybe Stu and Levert or something like that. With the other one, we might have to use some seconds to sweeten the pot. If it's Duncan and Sasser and some picks, maybe that's what it is. No trade yet. Yeah, by no trade yet at all. Um, just a really surprising way for this draft to go. Did not see that coming. And what I said before the draft was I said the thing we have to have happen was the Warriors trading the 11th pick to the Pelicans so they can take Nate Ament. That would be what got Yaxel to fall because I think the Thunder would have taken Mara still over Yaxel. 13 the Bucks. I don't think they would have taken Yaxel. Then 14 the Hornets. They might have taken Yaxel, to be honest, but that's where we would have been able to go, and I don't think we could do it. Carr is still on the board. Yep, that's right, Profit. We're getting into some interesting territory for the Pistons, though, and as we get closer, we're gonna start looking at like who's available and stuff on the screen. It's just so we can look at that together. But really interesting stretch here but it's gonna decide a lot for who the Pistons can get. It's Oscar Robertson, Big O. Who do y'all like for the Bucks? Oh, looks like we're already going. There he is. They aim it. He's off the board. And you know what? I'll say at least the Bucks is probably the best team for him to end up with. I would not have picked him here, but at least in Milwaukee, he's got actual time to develop. You know, he's not gonna have pressure on him day one to be a positive player. What they call Amen, they said he's a wonderful complementary player due to his array of skills and combination of size and length. In a reduced role, he could really thrive as a secondary playmaker and play finisher, and that's very kind. Um, One of his pros is his shooting potential. That being said, he shot 37% from three in conference play. On the season, he shot 33%. He shot 79% from the free throw line. And for a guy that's like they were calling him before his freshman season, they were saying he's Kevin Durant. If y'all remember the mock drafts from like if y'all saw any of the early before the college season mock drafts, he was top 10 in all of them. He's got length, you're right. He's a very fluid athlete. He's got some touch, but he doesn't have a handle. He doesn't create good looks for himself or his teammates at all. Uh, he shot it really poor from 3-point percentage, from 2-point percentage. Uh, he's tall and he passes better than most guys at his position, but that's pretty much it right now. So, yeah, we'll see, man. I sometimes I get tricked by these players and I get too excited about them. I'm not sure about Ament. I always thought it's so dumb when they make him wear the other team's hat when when we know there's been a trade. So I'm glad he's not wearing a Miami Heat hat. I hate when they do that. Oh, he is wearing a hat. See, that's so stupid. I would not put that on. That is not my team. I mean, what's next? Do they make the Heat call him and say, "Hey, the Bucks want to take you"? Like, what? What's the point of that? That's so stupid. And like, if I'm the TV company, when there's a lot of trades, this gets confusing because they don't switch the logos or the teams up on the screen, or they'll say like reported trade, but you got people in the wrong hats, got the wrong logos on the screen. I hate it. It's a pet peeve of mine for the draft. I forgot how much I hate that. And we haven't really had to worry about it because there's been no trades, but not a fan. Man, Charlotte's got about 1 minute left on the clock. Look at his pops. He's huge. It is getting interesting though. Carr, Phylon, Sturts, Corey, Swain. Miss anyone? Lots of good picks. I think you kind of hit them all. Let me try to just switch this. What's good to do that? Let me pull it up on another screen. ESPN's best available. Yeah, so there's some bigs available that are gonna go probably before us, like Steinbach. So that's gonna be helpful for us to get the guard we want. Rim Lopez could go before us, and then yeah, the guards that are available, we got Christian Anderson, LeBaron Philon, who could fall. And he was the whole process, man. He was expected to go earlier. Bennett Sturts, Ibuka Okori, and then Isaiah Evans as kind of an off-ball guard, and then there's still Cam Carr. There's Alan Graves and Dalen Swain. I think those are all the guys that you kind of should circle for the Pistons. Um, let's see. Who do you think is the best fit of who's left? Um, I think it's a little tricky, but I think you can really have your pick of the guards. LeBaron Philon is often compared to Dennis Schroeder in the just the way that he plays and his size. Like he's going to be a smaller guard. And Cade obviously was able to succeed with a guy like Dennis Schroeder when they played together, but I don't know that. Um, to me, my only concern about a small guard is I feel like one of our strengths is that we have positional size. You know, Asar Thompson can guard lead ball handlers. Cade can guard people's two guards, and then we have a big, wing or forward um, next to them, like Duncan Robinson, who's really long. And if we go with the small guard, I think we can succeed in that. But I think that does kind of take away from one of our strengths. So you need it to be a guy that like brings you something else. And a Corey really does get to the rim at a level that none of our guards do. Like way better than I think better than Dennis. Um, and if you believe a Corey can shoot it enough, I think a Corey's the most impactful player out of those guys. But Christian Anderson is probably the best shooter in this class. It's him or Isaiah Evans, and he's just another small guy too that I don't know if he's going to be able to impact stuff. It's a trade. Oh, that was just the Giannis announcement. I think. Why did they do it at that time? There we go. And see, that's good for us. Every time they take a big or Krim Lopez, That's good for us. We can get our pick. And this is, I mean, this is why trading up would have been also like, we're gonna have our option of like between two of these guys, maybe three of these guys. Um, there's a lot of good guys available. I love Dalen Swain too. I know you mentioned him, Doc. Um, I don't know if I love him if Ron's gonna be on the team next year, and I don't want to like we kind of if we pick him, it's gonna to me it's like a sign like Ron is not going to be a Piston next year. He will be moved. He probably will be anyways based on what we've been hearing, but uh, yeah, we'll see about that. What do y'all think about Steinbach? Do y'all like him? I did not really watch him at all. I saw him in a couple of games, watching some Big Ten games, but I don't really get it with him. The no ceilings draft guide says a 6'11" double double machine who plays on a limited on ball role, but should make an impact in the NBA right away as a role player who can rebound, finish plays around the basket, and make the occasional jumper. I've seen people calling his offensive rebounding one of his best skills, which is interesting. I mean, yeah, he seems like okay big. I just don't see the upside, I guess. Um, the comparisons are Jakob Pertl, Cody Zeller, and Jalil Okafor. Would y'all take that before some of these other guys available? I don't know. But the Hornets need a big, and I guess he's got some skills. They okay. He made 36.8% of his jumpers, over 30% from three in each of his last two seasons, 75% from the free throw line. So they got indicators that he could eventually be a pick and pop three guy, but he's just not yet. Um, I don't know. I don't really like him. But car slip 21. He could. I mean, the Bulls pick this is gonna be it right here. I mean, this I would say I'm pretty confident this is gonna be Cameron Carr. At least that's what I think. They got Dirk muted on Zoom on the stream. Um, and no one's telling him. Maybe you can get number one lottery picks like Jalil. Maybe from the mother. Where he got the skills from the mother. Did Dirk? You guys couldn't hear Dirk either, right? That was really weird. Okay, this pick, you guys, I'm a little bit nervous about it. This could be Cam Carr. Pick is in. If y'all get it spoiled, just keep it till we get to the draft. Yeah, what I don't know, man. Yeah, that's trying to put some energy of no Cam Carr. This is the point where we could be trading up to. Yeah. I mean if Carr gets past Chicago, he could go to Memphis, certainly. He could go to Oklahoma City, so this is definitely the range. I mean, I'd say it seems like the Spurs are going to be looking at it big. So like Sinak or Koa P, Allen Graves, those kind of players. Raptors, they could go Allen Graves, they could go Bennett Sturts. I've heard him there a lot. I've also heard a lot of Bennett Sturts Charlotte. Apparently he had a really good workout for Charlotte and a good workout for Memphis. Um, Bulls, we know about, their general manager said they want size, length, athleticism, and physicality. Slap. That's what they're looking for. Bryson Graham said. So I think Cam Carr is one of those guys. Well, kind of. I mean, he's not as physical as he could be with his tools that he has. So maybe they don't like him as much. Maybe Dalen Swain. Um, maybe I do like Christian Anderson. Like I don't know, they have guards, but like they could use some shooting. So I wouldn't mind Christian Anderson for them, but he's not long. Like he's not long at all. He's very short, and very thin. So he doesn't really fit that perfectly. Um, and not all their players probably will, but the Thunder at 17, maybe that could be a spot where we trade up. I mean, maybe they'll just I don't know. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. And with how many players we like, we just mentioned how many guys. Like, let me pull up that list. If we just count all the guys we're cool taking, we got Anderson 1, Graves 2, Phylon 3, Sturts 4, Carr 5, Swain 6, Okori 7. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We picked 7 picks. I doubt those are the next 7 players coming off the board. Like it's probably not going to be all those guys. So you're probably going to get your pick of a hand, like at least 2 or 3 of them. This draft has been really chalky as far as maybe the reporters are just better than they used to be, but I feel like so far, like we've had a pretty good sense in this chat about who everyone's taking. Also, shout out Smokey62 Productions for the sub. I appreciate it. If y'all are in this chat and you haven't subbed yet, please do it. If you like Pistons content, I post it all the time, at least a couple times a week right now. I'm sure it'll slow down after free agency when I have a little bit of a break before the regular season. But I'm lying. We're gonna be all over summer league, so it's not gonna slow down anytime soon. All right, this pick has been in for a minute, so let's get on with it. Come on, Adam Silver. Dalen Swain. No Cam Carr, guys. We finally won. We deserve this. He's gonna be awesome for them too, but Cam Carr's not off the board, guys. We did it. This could be a Cam Carr team of 16, though. Maybe we got to move up. So officially, you guys, the only pick that got traded in the lottery was the Giannis trade. That's crazy. Can he slip to Detroit? I've seen mock drafts from guys with intel that had Cam Carr at 20 and 21. So it's possible. I mean, it's not out of the cards. There was reports today that he probably will be going top 20. So maybe his floor is the Spurs, and maybe we have to move up to get him. But hey, maybe this is a time when we can use our second stock, like you said earlier. Like maybe moving up 2 spots with giving him like 3 future seconds is enough. I don't know. I mean, maybe not. But at least it seems like we're not going to be using Stu to move up. Unless we do it within the next couple of picks. Maybe I shouldn't say that yet. Um, yeah, only Giannis. Whoever we pick, I'm calling him Axel for the rest of my life. So you better get used to it. It was supposed to be Axel, just like that one year it was supposed to be Wemby for us, and I love Azar, but it was supposed to be Wemby. I won't forget that. Yeah, I hate when they got the first pick coming on here during pick 16 doing the interview. Like, just wait till you spent 10 minutes on him at the beginning of the draft. Just wait till after the first round. Come on, man. The Grizzlies have 2 minutes left for their pick. As of now, they haven't traded it yet. I'm asking for a trade, guys. There's supposed to be fireworks during this thing, and I haven't seen any fireworks. You're crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean, Wemby and Cade would have genuinely like shook the foundation of the league. Alan Graves would be a solid option too if Carr goes. Justin, yeah. I think I've been sold more on Graves as of late. I was a little bit out on him at the beginning of his process. Um, I think he could contribute though. Sounded way weird when I read that, and it sounded kind of crazy, but I figured you didn't mean to go that far. Getting close, Detroit. Yes, we are, and man, like there's a lot of guys that I like. They got less than a minute left. They're using every second of this clock. Maybe they are working on a deal or something. Maybe Christian Anderson here, Bennett Sturts. Um, I don't know. All right, their pick is in, so they're picking guys. This is a potential car team. Wemby and Cade would have been dynasty territory. Well, like Wemby and Harper, kind of. Yeah, I mean, dude, my basketball life would have changed forever. I might have started this podcast 3 years ago. Cade moved me though. He did. I mean, I was in Vegas at the time of the lottery that year, and we were at like the biggest sports book there. I don't know if y'all have been there, but there's like hundreds and hundreds of seats, and we were watching the Bucks and Suns that day, and it was like right before the lottery, um, right before the finals game. They did the lottery, and I just remember like flipping out. Maybe it wasn't Bucks and Suns, but I remember I stood up, I screamed, and I was the only one in that, like 200 people. I yelled Detroit basketball. No one cared. But if we could have got Wemby too, I mean that would have. I, I didn't say a word the rest of the night of that lottery. We fell to five. We got the Grizzlies pick coming up now. Maybe. Where's that bald commissioner? There he is. Bennett Sturts. Okay, I was on top of that one, guys. Yeah, I mean, sounds like he had a great workout for them. I'm cool with this. Sturts was not really my preferred guy at 21. I would have been okay with it. I think his upside is a little bit lower than some of the other guys, like Phylon, Okori. Um, so I'm okay with that. I like Certs though. I do. All right, Thunder at 17. They got Mara with their last pick. I could see them going Karim Lopez. They seem like a team that would like a project wing like that. I could see him going to Allen Graves. Just they're totally. I mean, I don't know if he's really like a typical Thunder pick, but he kind of is with the. I'm sure that the teams that love the analytical stuff, they really are going to be on top of Graves. So it starts like the consolation prize. I mean, it's okay, but yeah, I mean, I would have been okay with it, but it would have been. I don't know. I don't think I would have been as pumped up at the end of this night as I could be. Now, there's still some players that I would kind of be very upset. Maybe not very upset, but like if we went with either Graves or Isaiah Evans, to me, I'd kind of I feel okay, but not great about it. The rest of the guys that are in Pistons range, I'm good with. I'm good with Anderson. I'm good with Carr. I'm good with Okori and Phylon. All four of those guys. That's who I'm circling. I'm gonna tweet this link out again. Whoa, Bennett Sturts is getting traded to the Thunder for 2 second-round picks, guys. What? What? Wait, what? Two se- They didn't switch. He got traded for 2 second-round picks, and Oklahoma City's back on the board at 17. What? Oh no, Shams is terrible. Okay, Memphis is drafting at 17. Guys, that was so confusing. Uh Memphis is drafting at 17 now. They the Thunder gave him 2 picks to move up one spot. Okay. Guys, that was so weird. That's got to be wild for Grizzlies fans who just processed getting Bennett at 16 and then instantly he's traded and you're back on the board again. I'm still interested in Isaiah Joe. Let me tweet out this link again. Join us as the Pistons pick. Well, I don't know, man. I thought Sturts was going to the Grizzlies, so I don't know if I can really guess. I guess I maybe Christian Anderson, maybe LeBaron Phylon. Those would be the 2 picks I would say maybe going to Memphis or a Corey. It could be a Corey. I'd be really sad about that. Cam Carr's another opportunity here though. Yeah, I'm Phylon. This whole process was like tied with the Heat, or like rumored to be going to the Heat slash Bucks, but in the last week he worked out for Minnesota before they traded away the 28th pick. And I think that kind of sends some signals to people that maybe he's going to drop further than they thought. So he's, you know, he wouldn't work out for the team with the 28th pick if he didn't think he could drop to 21. Um So I think Phylon could be there, but it could be Phylon here. It could be Carr. It could be Okori. It could be Anderson. That's kind of what I'd be circling here. Maybe Karim Lopez. I don't know. So the Thunder go away from this draft with Mara and Sturts as their two picks. Like the video, y'all. If y'all haven't done it already, that'll help more people see this. Definitely hoping we get some people coming in around the Pistons pick here at 21. So if y'all are just joining, please like the video and sub to the channel as well. I do Pistons content all the time. I just started this channel back during the beginning of the Cavs series, actually, and I've appreciated how much y'all are commenting and chatting with me about the Pistons. I love it so much. So thank you so much for joining. Let us know how you're feeling right now. I'm feeling okay about this. We had to go through the disappointment of Yaxel together. We all did that together on this stream, but now I'm feeling okay about the players left. I hope it's not like a weird smoke screen. They are just taking their sweet time with this, man. This pick has been in forever. Jay Billis is disrespecting glasses wearers on the screen right now. Not cool. No. Dude, he was my favorite. He was my favorite guard for the Pistons. Welcome, Chris. I was hoping EBUKA Okori. He's going to Memphis now. A tough shake. A tough shake. I am such a big fan of EBUKA Okori. I think Phylon or Anderson or Carr. I mean, those are the three names, right? Like, there's now only three picks before us, and those are three names that I like: Anderson, Phylon, and Carr. I think we could pick Graves. I think he'd be in that mix. He worked out for the Pistons the week before the draft. Not as I put Graves as fourth on my list. But you got to think maybe the Spurs will take Karim Lopez. Maybe the Hornets will take Karim Lopez. The Hornets could take Cam Carr here, which would be another disappointing pick. I mean, I'm not going to be as disappointed about him as I was about Okori, but man, I just hope the next three aren't Okori, Sturts, and or sorry, and I hope the next three aren't Phylon, Anderson, and Carr. I think we would take Carr for sure. And Sam Vecini's last two mock drafts for the Athletic, he had Phylon going to the Pistons in both of them, which I thought was interesting. So maybe he's heard that they're interested in Phylon. He's a really interesting prospect because his first year at Alabama, he basically he was a way better defender than he was in his second season. But in his second season, he had a lot more of a kind of some scoring duties that he had to uphold. So he's really slim. What'd you say, Ben? Okori to Detroit? Okori to Detroit. He's getting traded. He's a Piston. Guys, EBUKA Okori's a Piston. Oh my god, thank you, Ben. Let's go. I was so mad. This is why you gotta have Twitter up when you're doing a live stream. I just learned that right now. You guys, EBUKA Okori is the Pistons' first round pick. I am a huge fan of EBUKA Okori. He is an excellent, excellent finisher at the rim. He's creative at the rim. I've heard all throughout the draft process that the Pistons were interested in EBUKA Okori, and he's the pick here for the Pistons. Looks like we used a couple of seconds to move up. You guys, this is amazing. I am so pumped up about this. I've talked about EBUKA Okori a ton on my channel. I had Czar come on the channel. We talked about EBUKA Okori. I had Bryce and Move My Pivot on Twitter come on the channel. We talked about EBUKA Okori. Um, this guy is an absolutely perfect player for the Pistons. I think that the question mark for him is going to be if his shot ends up developing. Okay, he shot 35% from 3-point land in his first year at Stanford. The thing about him is that he carried the entire Stanford offense. Okay, um, Stanford basically had nobody else that could produce on their offense. So he carried the entire weight of everything. Um, but he shot 35% from three. Most of his shots though were on the inside. You look at his shot chart. Let me pull it up. Oh yeah, they do. Okay, so he had 271 attempts at the rim. 271 of his shots were in the painted area. At the rim, he gets to the paint with ease, and he's creative at finishing. He is a little bit smaller, so there might be some struggles translating that to the NBA level, getting to the rim there. But I'll say this: he's got one of the quickest first steps in the draft. He's a great player. I'm gonna read you the synopsis for him on the No Ceilings draft guide, and then we're gonna go through the entire draft guide and kind of learn a lot more about him altogether. So the quick synopsis for him is they said he's a dynamic shot creator. Okori blends quickness, length, and advanced ball handling with the ability to create for teammates. His combination of self creation, passing feel, and a translatable shooting profile gives him intriguing upside as an offensive lead guard. Um, just an awesome player. His he was not a highly recruited player. He was a national or New Hampshire Getaway Player of the Year, but he was more of a fringe high major recruit. He was not considered a blue chip prospect at all. Um, and yeah, he dominated on offense for Stanford this year. Uh, the pros that they have in the draft guide for him is his self creation. It says Corey's ability to create for himself is one of the most enticing traits in his profile. In his lone college season, he shot 46, 34, 84 from the floor, despite just 18% of his made field goals were assisted. So he basically did it all for himself. Um, his comfort operating both with and without screens gives him flexibility in how they structure offense around him, whether as a primary initiator or a dynamic secondary creator. That is important because I think that's kind of ideally how the Pistons will be able to use him, either off the bench as their lead guard off the bench or next to Cade Cunningham. Um, the rim pressure is pretty crazy. He said Okori's handle, quickness, strength, and nearly 6'8" wingspan combined to make him an elite rim pressure guard. Nearly 50% of his shots came at the basket, which was 61st percentile in frequency. He also generated 33 and ones on the season, reinforcing his profile as one of the more NBA oriented scoring guards. And then his vision, it says beyond the scoring upside, he's also shown exciting flashes as a playmaker. He ranks in the 83rd percentile operating in isolation when including passing possessions, highlighting his ability to create advantages both for himself and for others. His 24% assist percentage further reflects the multiple ways he can make life easier for teammates offensively. Uh, Art, yeah, he is a little guard, and that's I think that's the main concern about that. Um, but listen, he has a long wingspan. He has shown ability on defense. He's a little bit inconsistent in that. Um, but he was able to get steals and make plays in transition. I think he's gonna have to get a little more consistent, like not get blown by as much, not do as many bad fouls. Um, but I think he absolutely has the tools to be a good defender at the position despite his size. Um, and then with the college context, like, dude, okay, I feel like I saw a stat that said he had so many pull up threes this year. Like I think his shot could be better than the percentages show, just because the way that they closed out on a Corey at Stanford is just different than the amount of attention he's going to get on offense for Detroit. You know, he's going to have more room for the Pistons to be able to make plays. Um, He's gonna help our bigs stay in the paint. Sounds a whole lot like Sasser. Sasser just doesn't get to the rim like that. I mean, Sasser's a very good shooter. Um, I think they're just different players, and to be honest, I'm not confident that I'm not sure if he's gonna be the one like getting minutes next year. I don't even know if Sasser is gonna be on the team. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy stuff, you guys. Um, I really I thought we were cooked. I thought we were cooked. The hat is clean. This is the NBA draft hat. I got it just because I was on the NBA shop. Okay, so last week they had like these playoff hats. I don't think I have it out here. They had playoff hats on sale. It was just a regular Pistons hat, and it just said like playoffs 2026 on the side, and it was $9. And I was like, I'll take that because it was like 80% off. And then I saw they had the draft hats, and I said, you know what? I'm planning on going live for the draft. Let me get this to commemorate it. I'll wear the bedazzled hat that the players are wearing. But of course, this is another situation where I hate the way the NBA draft works because Ibuka Okori was not in a Pistons hat out there. Your boy Reese said Phylon and Carver right there. I hear you. I heard the Pistons liked Carr a lot. Um, I mean, he's still on the board, man. That's it's interesting. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we move back in. Probably not. But yeah, been a really crazy draft so far. I'm a big fan of Okori. I am excited to see those two play together, Okori and Cade. I think a lot of Okori's minutes in his first year are going to be off the bench. What I am also interested in is how he's able to play with Dennis Jenkins, um, because Okori's definitely an on-ball point guard, and um, Dennis has pretty much been on ball most of his time. Dennis, though, his shot does lead me to believe he could play a little bit off ball. And Dennis is 6'4", so he can, I think, guard a little bit up. Um, that's my only question mark with this move. We still got 12 seconds to work with if he keeps dropping. That's true. That is true. And look, I that was just a that was a crazy shift in emotions here, man. I thought we just lost a Corey. Um, my brother came in the chat and let us know that Okori's going to the Pistons. And this draft had no trades in the lottery. The only one being the Giannis trade. And then suddenly I feel like we've had like four trades in a row that have all been confusing. Um, we missed the Hornets took Christian Anderson at 18. He's a great shooter. He's very small as well. Very light. I'm more concerned about Anderson's size than Okori's. Anderson's was about 10 pounds lighter, I think, at the combine. Okori's small too. Don't get me wrong. But I think Okori's just shown enough ability to get to the paint, and Christian Anderson's not a really good driver. Um, the thing that Trajan Langdon said in his press conference, you know, after the playoffs was that he wanted to get more ball handling and he wanted to get guards that could get paint touches specifically. That's what he said we were looking for when he was asked what's our biggest need. He said that over even like um shooting. Like he said shooting as a secondary need, but he said that first. So I find that really interesting. I'm gonna quickly edit the name of this stream so we can get some people interested in EBUKA Okori to pour through. What a crazy draft, you guys. I mean, This was really fun though. Thank you everyone for that's been here talking draft with me. If y'all are just got to the chat, definitely leave me a sub if you like talking about the Pistons. I'm gonna be on this channel, I'm sure all throughout this week talking about the Pistons draft, EBUKA Okori. I'll talk about if we get any two-way contract signed after the draft. We'll go over everything. That's just what we do. He said, if I've learned one thing about Trajan, it's that he'll literally tell you what he's doing. It's almost odd how people don't listen to that. Dude, Trajan, he absolutely will just tell you exactly what he's going to do. And I think all he's been saying this entire offseason, by the way, is that he wants to improve this team. Everything that's coming out about the Pistons is that they want to be aggressive this offseason. And I'm still, because we didn't trade for Tyler Hero and because we didn't meet the crazy price that the Pelicans were asking for Trey Murphy, I'm still seeing Pistons fans crying, saying, "Oh, we're not going to be aggressive again. We're just going to run it back." There is nothing out there that shows you that we're going to run it back. We have been tied with like 8 players. I'm not saying you got to like them all. I don't like them all. I don't like Tyler Hero like that. I don't want to give more than 2 years to Norm Powell, but like Trajan has said, we're trying to improve this roster, that the timeline, to win is sped up faster than our development. And now you're seeing Ron Holland and trade talks. He said we wanted paint touches and ball handling, and now he drafted EBUKA Okori. So like, you just got to take Trajan at his word sometimes. Like that's just the reality of what it is. That's a great point, Doc. Yeah, really exciting time though. I mean, I think this offseason is going to be big for the Pistons. I think it's going to be notable whether they do things that I like or not. We'll see. They got to be careful. They got to make the right move. But excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But guys, Alan Graves just went over Cam Carr. He's available for the Spurs at 20. I think that's a pretty easy pick for them. Julian Champagne's a free agent this year. Carr can shoot it, and he's long. And I think they can, hide him a little bit on defense till he's more consistent on that end. So just updating the thumbnail real quick on this. All right, we've taken EBUKA Okori, everyone. What do you guys think? Trade them some seconds? Yes, please. We have so many. My brother sent me a screen recording of my reaction when Okori was picked, and then when he told us. Okay, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna post that. That's crazy. I was hoping EBUKA Okori. I am such a big fan of EBUKA Okori. I think Phylon or Anderson or Carr. This trade and picks make no sense. What part, David? Are you not sure about Okori as a player? Yeah, Doc's down with the Corey. I'm down with the Corey. If you guys aren't sure about a Corey, I have a couple of videos on my channel that I've done in the last couple of days. I did one with Bryce at Move My Pivot on Twitter. He's a really good draft analyst. He evaluates all these guys. He puts together a big board every year. I think he's very smart about the draft. He wrote an article for Bully Ball this year with some Pistons targets, and he had a lot of great insight into Okori. Let me put the link in the chat. So if y'all do want to learn a little bit about him, I'm definitely going to chop it up and then post his thoughts as well as Zara's thoughts from our video, as well as my thoughts, all in just one video tonight. So we can kind of just look at all the Okori stuff that we've done over the off season and look into him a little bit. Karim Lopez, I hope. I don't know. David says he's too small. He's shorter for sure. Um, but he's also probably the best at scoring at the rim and has a great first step out of all these guys. Um, he definitely does that better than Christian Anderson. He definitely, I think he gets to the rim better than definitely LeBaron Philon as well. And LeBaron Philon has more concerns about his frame and his size. So I hear you, but there's questions about size with all these guys. I think Cam Carr is obviously a lengthy player on the wing, but there's definitely some question marks about him as well. So I would have loved Cam Carr though too. I would not have been mad about that. I don't think we know the details yet of what do we know the details of what seconds were used? Whoa! I saw who the Spurs were taking. Czar, when he came on the channel, he said that Ibuka Okori reminds him of Tyrese Maxey. We did our mock draft the other day. I'm hype, y'all. I get the concerns. I do. I understand. Um, he was just such a good player in college. The guys that they compared him to on the No Ceilings draft guide, they had C.J. McCollum, Terry Rozier, and Dennis Smith as his three guys. Um, and you know what's crazy about that, by the way? Pistons didn't end up taking him at 21, but that's where Maxi went at 21. So this whole time I was like, if we could take a Corey at 21, that'd be pretty crazy. Oh, don't look at that. I thought it was going to be Cam Carr. They're going Quaintance here. Quaintance is a very interesting prospect. Pre-injury Quaintance and post-injury Quaintance are just different, completely different players. But pre-injury Quaintance might be one of the best defending centers there is, and him next to Wemby could be crazy. Horrible pick, fire Trajan. Troy, I mean, I don't agree with that, but you're definitely entitled to believe that. Um, I'm a big fan of Corey. I have been throughout the whole process. Um, but yeah, Quaintance is interesting. I thought Quaintance might fall out of the first round, man. So that's really interesting. Maybe the Grizzlies have traded back twice now. Maybe they're gonna do it again. So hey, maybe someone's gonna call up about Cam Carr now. Uh, the Knicks are within 3 picks. Maybe the Knicks get Cam Carr. That'd be pretty good for them, I think. Um, Kind of is replacing Landry Shamet. Like that makes sense to me. I don't want it to happen because I'm a Pistons fan, but I think that would be an interesting fit. Um, the Hawks are at 23. I don't know if they're going to keep 23. It sounds like that's one they're willing to trade. So maybe that's someone that could jump into the first round. I don't know. Um, this is interesting, guys. Now we have Wemby and Jaden Quaintance versus Chet, Mara, and Swarber in the Western Conference. That's a crazy collection of players right there. I don't know, same player type as Asar and Okori, same player type as Sasser. That's not. I don't. Did Sasser get to the rim like that in college? I don't think so. I'll have to. I need to look at Sasser's college numbers because you're not the first person that said that. Let me pull it up. Um, I can pull up his shot chart right now. Let's see, Marcus Sasser, and we're just gonna go his last season. Yeah, I think it's a fair comparison. Uh, okay, so okay, Marcus Sasser in his last year of college, he had 81 shots at the rim. 81 shots at the rim. Most of his shots, I think, were from the outside. Yeah, 81 shots at the rim. Ibuka Okori shot 271 shots at the rim. They're not the same player. They may be similar size. They're not the same player. I also don't think you can consider Marcus Sasser when you're making picks uh, in the NBA draft. You can't. Booty pick, John. I don't know, man. I think he adds a dynamic to this team we don't have. I want to see what Dennis Jenkins' shot chart was in his last season because I know he had an interesting path to the NBA. Hey, Dennis had 94 at the rim. And then by this and all the shot charts that you get the data from are different. But this website Hoop Explorer has Okori at 194, so not quite at the 271 number. I don't know where their ranges are, but that's over 100 more than Sasser or Jenkins. It's just a different kind of player. So I mean, you can say he's not. Uh, you'd like him to be bigger, of course you do. I mean, if Sasser was 6'5", he'd be. I mean, I'm sorry, if Okori was 6'5", he'd be going top 10. That's the reality. Um, but Okori can get to the rim. He's creative with both hands. He's got a great first step, and he's an effective playmaker. He's a good ball handler, and his shot looks like it could definitely be a legit thing. He shot 35% from three. He was guarded really tightly. Like the closeouts were exceptionally strong because there's nobody else on Stanford that could play. He was not a highly recruited player, but he came into Stanford. He averaged 24 a game. Like, I don't know. I'm okay with it. John, you mentioned Chris Sinak from Houston. He's about 4 years from being a good NBA player. He can't shoot the three. I think Okori can shoot the three. And that's where people are going to you might disagree. He shot 35%, and he shot a number of pull-ups too. So I think he's very capable of that. Yeah, Troy. I know he's. I mean, there's a difference in getting to the rim in college and there is in the NBA. But the thing about him is that he can like get through defenders, uh, fight like he has the bend when he gets inside to get around guys. It's a natural thing. It's not just about college versus pro. He's very able to kind of contort his body and make tough finishes. Yeah, I mean, Okori's a dog, dude. I don't know. They've loved him throughout the process because he is a dog. So, I mean, I get it about the small guards, but hey, man, you watched the finals? I don't know. If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. Yeah, the doc's been killing me all night. Yeah, one crazy comment about having to clean up bathrooms. All right, so here's Memphis's actual pick, guys. They've been on the clock 3 times. Here's their second pick now. It's Kareem Lopez. And we're gonna see him in a Pistons hat because this draft doesn't make sense, guys. They do this draft in such a weird way. He's gonna wear a Pistons hat. I'm glad to see him. I didn't want him. You guys, hey John, I hear you. I like Cam Carr a lot. He's still on the board. Uh, yeah, the Lee Life need to trade back in and get Cam Carr. If we trade back in and get Cam Carr, then I'm gonna have to clean up this room. I might knock this computer over. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I would be. That would be crazy. Um, Now, one thing that the crew mentioned here on Twitter, and I think is probably true, drafting Okori probably means that trading assets for a scoring guard is going to be less likely. So I think you're looking more at Norm Powell than we'd be looking at uh, like a Tyler Hero. I think Powell, you could, even if it's a sign and trade, you could probably get away with just sending him one guy like a Duncan or a Karras. Hero, they're asking for Ron, Stu, Duncan. I don't think we're doing that with adding a Corey because we got a Corey, Danis, Cade. I mean, maybe Duncan is the guy that gets moved then if we do get someone. Peyton Watson, Ben. To get Peyton Watson, we'd have to basically trade one of those guys into salary. So one of those guys would have to go to a cap space team like the Nets or the Bulls. And basically we'd have to get nothing in, like no players in return. So we'd have to let them go into cap space or go into someone's trade exception. That would get us about $38 million in salary cap. We could then use that to go after them. But the problem is like Peyton Watson's restricted, so we have to make it a high enough number for the Nuggets not to match. And the Nuggets are trying to get off of their guys to be able to match. So it'd be really hard to do that, I think, unfortunately. We're probably looking at more like an MLE guy, up to that 15 million, maybe a guard, maybe like a Kobe White, and then maybe trading for a 4 now. To me, I'm low key trying to get back in the Trey Murphy conversation because we've heard the reason the Pelicans were kind of backing out of the Pistons offer was because they wanted to get a lottery pick. Well, guess what? We're at pick 21 now. Like that's not happening anymore. So I'm looking at that. I think maybe they're trying to get Jaylen Brown or something first. Maybe trying to get Kawhi or Pelicans are weird, but I think this puts us higher in the Trey Murphy conversation than it did going into this draft. I thought they were going to get into the lottery. He'd be done. John Smith, we should not have kept Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey let us get up to 21, which let us get up to 17. We keep Jaden Ivey. He's a free agent this year. We're not going to resign him probably, and then we have pick 28. I think he plays this year. I don't think he's really a starter this year. He's definitely going to play this year. But I'm feeling greedy. I want Cam Carr now. I want more. Feed me more. Would you guys move Stu for Cam Carr? What's up with Chaz? I like Chaz. I just don't think he's gonna get an opportunity again. He's just he's not very athletic, and uh, he's just I don't he's kind of got one ability. I like him a lot. I think he's fun in summer league, but I don't think he's gonna really get a real opportunity. I like him though. No, Stu's our heart and soul. Troy, I understand that. I think Stu's gonna get traded this offseason. So I was wondering if you guys like Carr enough to get back into the draft with him, because now we don't have a pick to trade. So it's gonna probably cost a future pick or a Stu. I don't think a Duncan would get you back in the draft. Maybe it would. Because like who could use Duncan? The Nuggets are shedding salary, so they can't really get Duncan. The Lakers maybe could use Duncan. Apparently, they're trying to trade out of their pick. Maybe the Knicks don't have enough money. They can't. The Hawks are trying to trade out. Maybe they would want Duncan. I don't know. Maybe that's the only other guy I can think of. Maybe Pick or something. But also, if you need shooting, why wouldn't you just take Cam Carr? He's got 4 years, you know? Man, it's a sigh of relief to me that we're probably not going to get Tyler Hero too. I think that's pretty good. I have a couple I want to show you this graphic actually. How do I get this on the screen? Media. Put this on here because this is a cool graphic. I want to show you guys. Desktop. What? I hate Windows 11. I don't have experience with this shit, but this sucks. Maybe I had the wrong source thing. Here we go. You hear the Philadelphia 70 selectors. And they got Phylon. That's awesome for them. I mean, who would have thought he'd be available for the Sixers? This is his shooting profile here. Freshman with at least 15 games played, a usage range of at least 28, and at least 8 attempts from 3 per 100 possessions, at least 82% free throw percent, and had over 40% of their 3-point makes unassisted. So he's creating these shots for himself. He's not getting these catch and shoot opportunities. EBUKA Okori, Trae Young, Cade Cunningham, and Michael Brown. That's really interesting. He was just doing everything by himself. I mean, did you guys see these guys play in college? Cade Cunningham in college. Yeah, I mean, John, you're right. We need a spot up shooter, but I think Okori could. He showed success with spot up shooting. He just that's the reason his percentage is down. Is because almost all of his 3-point attempts he had to create himself. He also scored 40 in a game. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was a prolific scorer. I know the size is a concern. I understand that, but he's exceptionally good. Um, I'll also show you this. I'm gonna show you a graph. Yeah, who wants to talk? Who wants to see a graph when having a hoops convo? I do. I'll take this off. Okay. One more image for y'all. Look at this graph. Okay. So in the context of the 2026 draft, his ability to create shots for himself stands out in a huge way. And the only comparable prospect in his ability to create his own shot is AJ DeBonsa. So this is self-created shot diet. So on the left side, it's the total or percent of total made shots that are unassisted. So the most unassisted shots are at the top. You see guys like Dalen Swain, who creates a lot of his own shots, Kingston Flemings, LeBaron Philon, and then Dabonsa and Okori. On this side, it's unassisted points per 100 possessions. So this is the volume, and this is the percent of his shots that are unassisted. Okori is basically higher than Dabonsa in this. And I know that's not like he's not gonna play like that for the Pistons, but like the fact that he can do that is what we don't have. Who does Stanford play? It's not the Big Ten. I mean, he played against real decent teams. Now, let me pull up his schedule. I know it's not the Big Ten, but he was his context was he was playing for a terrible team. Like they did not make the tournament, and he basically he had to shoulder everything for them. Let me show you here. Browser. Just give me a window. All right, let's look at this together, you guys. So they played against Oregon, and then they have some non-conference here, obviously. They played Minnesota, St. Louis, San Jose State, UT Arlington, Colorado, Notre Dame, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Virginia, North Carolina. They beat North Carolina. Duke, Cal, Miami, Florida State, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Wake Forest, Cal, Pittsburgh, SMU, Notre Dame, NC State. And then in the ACC tournament, they lost to Pitt. And then they played West Virginia in the college basketball crown. Those are real opponents. You played great against North Carolina, yeah. Um, Let me pull a box score because I'll show you some box scores too. I'm excited to go back and watch these full games now that we picked them. I didn't really watch full games of guys this year because this is the first year I've been doing this channel, trying to figure out how I want to cover prospects for you guys. Um, but he had some huge games that I saw, and I've heard people talk about, some full games of his as well. So it's not I'm not just looking at highlights and throwing shit out there. Against North Carolina, he had 36 points. He was 12 of 20 from the field, 9 of 11 from three. He had 9 assists, and yeah, they won by 5. They beat Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar. He balled out against him. I got to watch it too, John. I mean, I'm not trying to I like the pick. I know you don't like it, but I think it's important to kind of consider all these things. Voldy, yeah, he played great against North Carolina. Reminds me of a Schroeder or a Reggie Jackson. I've heard someone actually mention Reggie, like Oklahoma City Reggie Jackson. Make a video of his best games. That's a good idea, John. I'm gonna do that. I appreciate that suggestion. Um, yeah, I know we've been kind of going away from the draft a little bit, but I'm pumped up to talk about EBUKA Okori. They got killed against Duke. I want to I want to see what that looks like. Duke, Stanford, box score, red basketball. He could come around. There's been times when I've been like kind of down on a Pistons pick, and then the next day I'm like, well, actually, okay, it doesn't seem so bad. Yeah, against Duke, he was not good. I mean, he had 9 points, 3 of 9 from the field, 1 of 5 from three, 4 turnovers. Uh, Look, I think the reality for them this season, from my understanding, was if he's not scoring, nobody is, and they lost by 30. So that happened. But look, I'm excited to get more into the games. Yeah, I think I'll do a video on like what games to watch, some highlights from some of these games. Dude, I wish he was a 6'4" as well. Like that, like he's super quick without the ball in his hand, super creative with the ball. Him getting minutes is what's concerning on this pick for me personally. I agree. I think I'm interested to. I don't know if he'll play in the playoffs this next year, which you kind of would hope this guy would be able to do. But I think this is the only time you're probably picking close enough to 17, where you're able to get up reasonably without giving up assets and get a player that you think has upside. And to me, it seems like the Pistons believe that Okori has upside that the other guys didn't. Um, I think Phylon has similar upside, but I think Okori's a much better scorer than Phylon, and Phylon's a lot more thin. Like he's a Okori can bang around in there, even though he's small. He can. He's got good bend. He's very creative with both hands at finishing. Like he can do it. Um, okay, the Hawks go with edge of 4. So you guys, Cam Carr is available for the Knicks at 24. Yeah, Ben, I'm surprised too. I think with some NBA teams, their concerns, from my understanding, are his frame. They think he's very light. Um, he gets out physical a lot by wings, even though he's long, and he's not a good defender yet. He has defensive tools. He's just not a good defender. But he can shoot, and he's athletic, and he can, get standing blocks as a wing. It's pretty crazy. Um, I think the Knicks has got to be his floor, right? Like if the Knicks don't take him, there's something. What's going on? The Knicks need shooting. I mean, I think the Knicks need a big man, but they do need shooting as well. We drafted EBUKA Okori, Chris, the guard from Stanford. I know you're not going to be able to tell by this list on the side of the screen because there's been so many trades in the 20s. I guess since 16 actually. His Sturge is actually on the Thunder. Okori's on the Pistons. Lopez is on the Grizzlies. Yeah. And John said I'd keep Sasser. We might have to get some worth for Jenkins. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Why did they get a walk-up song, you guys? They didn't play a walk-up song for us. Okay, the Lakers are trading to 24 after they play the Knicks song, by the way. Are they going to play it again at 25? I wonder who the Lakers are targeting with that. Are the Lakers the Cam Carr team? He'd be an interesting wing next to Luca and Reeves. Doc, I don't know. Lakers have to be picking Cam Carr. There's always a player like this, though, you guys. There's always someone that we're like, is there a medical thing we don't know about? But sometimes they're just, I don't know. We're gonna learn about it, I bet. I'm sure people will ask, and the reporters will let us know why people kind of because there was reports today that he was not going to fall past 20. I think it was Brett Siegel from Clutch Points. Um, so I'm shocked, but I mean Zuby going before the Knicks. I think the Knicks liked Zuby. I think the Knicks like Terrace Reed. I think the Knicks like I don't know, maybe Cam Carr, but they're one more pick before them. Maybe they're cool with a couple of those guys, which is why they let the Lakers move up. Um, man, the Lakers pulled the WWE card and they're gonna get Carr. They just interrupted the entrance. What's going on with that? Yeah, but I mean, even Kenny Beecham said that he heard Carr to the Bulls at 15, but they like Dalen Swain better, and I actually don't disagree with that. I think Dalen Swain's a great finisher, and a much better creator for himself than Cameron Carr. I mean, Cam's a better shooter, but Swain's a great defender already, and Carr's not. So I think that's the difference there, and why the Bulls actually went with Swain over Carr. I personally, I didn't make a board this year. I mean, I will next year though. I'm gonna try to get more into the prospects throughout the season now that I have this channel because I want to be able to like bring like a lot of more information to you. Like this year, it was a lot of me consuming content from some creators that I really trust and kind of relaying it to you guys. But I'm gonna do a lot more firsthand stuff next year. I'm excited to get into that. We got 1 minute left though for the Lakers here on the clock. I'm really intrigued at who they're picking here and if Cam Carr is going to be in this range. Also, shout out Christopher Thomas for subscribing. We're at 332 right now, so if you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscription button, hit the like button on the video. It does a lot for helping people see it and jump in the chat with us as we kind of go through the rest of the draft. Also, guys, I love the draft so much more when Shams is not spoiling all the picks. Um, just glad that that's not happening anymore. All we had to do was get ESPN to pay him, so that he would be less incentivized. I want another player, guys. We have enough second round picks to get one. How's his defense? Is he a stud? I don't think he's a stud. This is what the No Ceilings draft guide said about his defense. They said one of the concerns is defensive consistency. They said his playmaking metrics are not poor um, by any means because he got a lot of turnovers. He jumps passing lanes a lot. He's like aggressive on defense. But he if it said if he's not operating as a primary offensive option early in his NBA career, he will need to become more fundamentally consistent on defense. So rather than chasing the home run plays, he goes after those home run plays. He goes after those tries to jump passing lanes. He's going to need to do a better job at containing the ball, not letting people blow by him, and avoiding unnecessary fouls. So he's physical and the tools are there. He's just his discipline needs to get better. And there's Cameron Carr to the Lakers. There he goes, guys. The fall is over. At this point, Chris Sinak Jr. is still here. Isaiah Evans, another guy that people wanted the Pistons to look at, is still here. Koa Pete is still on the board. He can't. I don't want Koa Pete or really Sinak for the Pistons at this point, but Isaiah Evans would be a very good addition. Malik Thomas is still available. Joshua Jefferson is still on the board. Those are probably the rest of the first round guys. There's Henry Vasar and Sergio De La Rey, who also could go. And then Terrace Reed, I think Terrace Reed could be the next pick here at 25. So I think at this we're gonna have someone intriguing falling to 21. Who's picking it or at 31? Tomorrow, right now, the Knicks have 31. The Grizzlies are 32. The Nets at 33. The Kings at 34. Yeah, round two is tomorrow night. So we're probably gonna get some reporting about who's interested in trying to move up to those spots or if those guys are locked in on a player. It'll be interesting. Guys, thank you for everyone in the chat. We have 66 people right now. That's like it's blowing me away. I appreciate you guys all joining. Please hit the like button if you've enjoyed any of this stream. It really does a lot for the channel, for people seeing this live stream, watching it back afterwards. So I appreciate that. Progressive Report says Corey's garbage. I literally don't even think he can dunk. Damn. Well, he got to the rim 271 times. Let me look up how many times did he dunk. I don't know. I don't think it was zero because I think Wagler had. Oh, well, that says Kyrie. Oh, I need a Corey. It says Kyrie dunked 0 times this year because he had a torn ACL. Thank you. Okay, the Google AI says that he threw exactly 8 dunks. Not very many dunks, but he's fast. He's crafty layup finishes. I mean, he's still good at the rim, even though he's not necessarily like the freak athlete. You want someone that hasn't dunked, it's Wagler because he missed his only dunk. We learned that this earlier. So the Knicks just got money. They got cash considerations. I always think that's really funny. They just sent some money. What does it even do? It doesn't even help you with the cap space at all. And Lord knows says bad pick. It doesn't move the needle for us in the East. Why sit on your hands when opponents get better? And who did you want them to pick at 21? I mean, I don't think Cam Carr makes them better than Okori would make them this year. I think both of those guys would need some time. Will play off the bench. Okori would not. I mean, Carr would not make them better defensively. The only player that I think made the Pistons better today, like upgrading their starting lineup, could have been Yaxel. And yeah, we were not getting up 11 spots to get Yaxel without giving up like at least 2 future first round picks. So you can criticize them for sitting on their hands, but who would you? I don't think there's a player that could have made a better impact available at that spot this year. I think Okori's off the bench this year. After that was Anderson, who's not. I mean, he's not probably going to be able to play in the playoffs this year. He's really, really thin as well. Yeah, the only pick that in this draft to move the needle this year is Yax that we could have made, I think. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but we don't have to think about OKC. Like, I don't think Cam Carr helps you with OKC and San Antonio this year, or even I don't know. I people are not as high on the defense as I think some. He's flashy on defense, but he's not fundamentally sound at all. I mean, in a similar way to Okori, but Okori's a great ball handler and a great finisher at the rim. He gets to the rim a ton. He's got a great first step. He's very fast. Um, Cam Carr can score. He can shoot from three pretty good, and he can get to the rim. But and there's still an entire offseason full. Yeah, guys, it's still the first. It's literally the first second of the offseason. And you're surprised that Mraz was the first Wolverine drafted. Um, I thought it was going to be Mraz or Barra. Like that seems like those are the two guys that Dallas would consider at 9 after they hired Dusty May. I didn't think Yaxel would fit with Cooper Flag. I think they kind of play the same exact position. Um, yeah, I mean, Prophet, I love Okori. Shout out you. You've been here the whole time. I appreciate you. All right, we only have 6 more picks, but we're gonna stick with it for the rest of the draft. So it might get a little bit late, guys. You definitely don't have to stick around if you want to bounce out of here. But I appreciate you guys for joining. Please hit the like button on your way in. Leave a comment. Let me know, what you're feeling about this. I love talking draft with you guys. And Lorno said, so you do not think other teams in the East didn't get better? Philly, Chicago, Charlotte, all of them got better. We didn't. I mean, I don't know, man. Charlotte ended up with Steinbach and Anderson. Neither of them moved the needle more to me than Okori does. Um, they just had 2 first-round picks. It's like if we just got 2 of them, I don't know. Who else do you say? Philly. I mean, Philly got Phylon. I don't. Phylon is not going to have a better impact than Okori. I think they're kind of in a similar position, except for I think Okori is definitely a much better scorer, and I think Okori has a better chance to play on a playoff team this year than Phylon does. Chicago, of course, they got better. They drafted number 4 and 15. If we drafted 4 and 15, we'd be better. Yeah, we need scoring and ball handling. That's the 2 things we need the most. And Okori theoretically will address that. Maybe not day one. It's the draft. You're not supposed to be able to do everything in one draft pick. Dude, why is Adam Silver just announcing that Okori's going to the Pistons and Sturts is going to the Thunder? Like this is the worst part about the NBA draft is the way they like process this and announce it. It's so stupid. De La Rhea. They got De La Rhea to the Lakers, yo. These guys are excited. They must be some Spaniards. Yeah, I don't think that Chicago's better than us. I think maybe they got better. They got they improved more today than we improved today. But hey, we won 60 games. It's hard to do that when you win 60 games. Okay, Chris Sinak, Isaiah Evans, Koa Pete. Those guys are still here. Joshua Jefferson, Terrace Reed. Wait, no, Larea's going to the Knicks then, yeah? You're right. Yeah, Ben said to the Knicks. That's weird. Okay, and now they got the draft people on the draft show confused about where they're going because they won't change the graphics to update with trades. So this guy's talking about how Sergio and Luca can speak Spanish on the court. Why do they do it like this? That's ridiculous. Um, Interesting about this though, there was some rumors today. I don't know how real they were, but there was some rumors that the Knicks were getting some interest in Deuce McBride. Why would they draft Sergio if they weren't like he's a table setting point guard. You know, like maybe they move Deuce. I don't think to. I would say I don't think the Pistons are interested, but that might be interesting to monitor. This has been a fascinating draft, you guys. Yeah, Ben, that's what I'm talking about. It's so stupid because Kareem Lopez is wearing a Pistons hat, and he's known for 20, 30 minutes that this is not the Pistons pick anymore. So why don't they let him wear the hat of the team that he's going to? They just hand him the wrong hat on purpose still. And the graphics are wrong. And then the pundits talk about it wrong half the time. It's the worst broadcast of a draft. We said we lost to Cleveland because we didn't have size to guard Spider and Harden. So with this pick, he has to be on the bench. So we're right back in the same place. Um, wouldn't you also say part of the reason we lost to Cleveland is because we didn't have anyone that could take the load offensively off of Cade? I don't think everyone has to be huge to guard Spider and Harden. I'm not saying Okori can do that day one, but like a player of Corey size can guard Harden or or Mitchell. Like that's where I don't. There wasn't a big guard left that was good as Okori. We lost because of turnovers and lack of scoring. That's what Prophet said. I think it was a mixture of both those things. I'm not saying you're wrong, um, but I think both of those things were involved. So I'm sorry if you could address all those needs in one pick, we wouldn't. I mean, you can't do that at 20, at 21. You probably can't do that at 17 either. Because Cam Carr is not creating offense for you. Yeah, Cade was gassed. Tobias definitely was gassed. And I was nervous about Tobias going into that series because when we've played guys like teams with bigger fours like Evan Mobley, like Tobias usually struggles against them anyways. So I didn't think he was gonna have a great series, but by like game 3, he just had nothing left. And I'll always appreciate Tobias for what he did against the Magic for us, but him and Cade, you saw it in both of their games in the Cavs series. So no players have been moved tonight that were not draft picks, which I think is not pretty typical. Yeah, I mean, it sounded like Trey Murphy was expecting to get traded today, so I wonder if that extends into this next week or so until free agency starts. Um, really interesting. I wouldn't expect them to trade this pick at this point. Um, that typically doesn't happen after the draft like ends. I mean, maybe tomorrow during the second round, I guess, but I don't think that's gonna happen. From what we've heard, the Pistons have the reason the Pelicans left the table is because the Pistons were not interested in putting 21 into that trade for Trey Murphy. They did not want to trade 21. They'd rather trade Ron Holland. They'd rather trade future first than trade 21. And they moved up to 17 to get Okori. They're not trading Okori. Ben said, is Tobias a lock to be on the Pistons roster this upcoming season? No, but like I'd be surprised if he wasn't. Because we have his bird rights, so we can kind of do all the rest of our stuff and then just pay him a decent amount. Like I'd maybe in the 12 to 15 range at the most. What we're really going to be looking at is if we try to just stay under the first apron, basically, since we're over the cap. But I think we'll bring back Tobias. He could get maybe a more money from like the Lakers. I know the Lakers have been tied to him this whole time, but sounds like he wants to come back and the Pistons want him back. Um, Doc said the more I see, I kind of think the feeling that people are focusing on our defense too much. We're a defensive team, but we need better ball handling and scoring. Our defense wasn't a problem. Um, I agree. I think you need to improve your scoring without sacrificing too much defense. That's the goal. It's not like you can only get great defensive players, but you have to. There has to be give and take. Like if you can get a great offensive and defensive player, probably can't get him at 17. So what I think we need to do with each of our trades is be careful that we're not bending too much towards offense. I think Tyler Hero, especially if it's for Stu, Ron, and Duncan, way too much offense, not enough defense. Like that's not the balance I'm looking for. With Okori, he's capable of playing defense. He's able to jump passing lanes. He's aggressive on defense. He just needs to be more consistent and buy into the system. And the Pistons worked him out. I feel like they believe he'll be able to defend at a reasonable level, even being a smaller guard. Or else I don't think they would have picked him. I think there's a reason they picked him over Phylon, who had more defensive success in his first year at Alabama, but was bad on defense in his second year. They're not the same player though. Like Sasser is not the same player as Dennis, who's not the same player as Okori. I don't think the Sasser is going to be on the team next year. Sasser can't have a role in deciding who you pick. Well, Okori is. I mean, he's not the shooter Danis is, but he's definitely like a different player getting to the rim. Ben, um, hey, dude, I would take a man on this team, Doc. Uh, yeah, I don't care about offense at that point. I don't give a fuck. Um, I want that. Uh, okay, so Denver's trading this pick 26 to the Spurs for 35 and 2 future seconds. So it's the Spurs taking Terrace Reed here at 26. They just picked Quayton. So they picked two big men for the Quaytons and Terrace Reed. So they're trying to go size and size and size next to Wemby. That's crazy. And look, the Pistons have a 6-7 point guard in Cade Cunningham. So you can be frustrated that they have a small guard next to him. I understand it. I think it'll work out okay. I think we'll be fine. You guys have been awesome tonight. Thank you for listening this far. If you're still here, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Just hit it once or 3 times, not twice, because that will unlike the video. And leave a comment once this is over. Let me know, your thoughts on the draft. But thank you all for joining me throughout this draft. It's been really fun. I think next year I'm going to try to have a co-host on here as I do the draft live stream. But it's been a blast with you guys regardless. So thank you all for joining throughout. Marcus says I want Jaylen Brown. I was doing some trade machine stuff with Jaylen Brown today. I think the only way you could get Jaylen Brown if you're the Pistons is probably doing a Duran Seiden trade because I don't think the money will work otherwise. Problem is he just makes $57 million, and if you're trying to get to 57, you're doing Duncan, Stu, Karras, Ron, or and Sasser, so 5 players, or you're doing like Duran and some other stuff. I just don't think it's gonna be possible, but I hear you. Um, because like that's not even considering the assets you'd have to use. So like, would you have to trade a SAR? Would you have to trade like all your picks with all those players? I don't think there's a deal to be made there. Yep, Doc, I'm with you. I want a starting four so that Tobias can go to the bench. Sounds like Trajan's going to talk to the media soon. So if that happens, I think that's going to kind of be our sign that they're not doing anything else in this round. I don't think they are, anyways. We only have 4 picks left. Trey Drayton, I'm guessing you're not a fan of the Corey pick. I'm okay with it. Duran and Holland, two first rounders. I don't know if that gets it done. I mean, if you told me I could do that trade and they would accept, I would do it. But I don't think that's enough. Lee Thomas is probably one of the only first round grade guys on the board. Isaiah Evans is too. So that's kind of why I wasn't interested in Evans at 21. I just feel like he wasn't. That's not really where his value was. Um, yeah, an interesting end to this round. I think after the Celtics, the Timberwolves pick is not owned by the Nets. I'm pretty sure. Well, here's what I'll say. I think what this means to me is I think Duncan will our guards next year, as of now, Arcade, Duncan, Okori, and Jenkins. I don't think those four are the guards that start next season, and I don't think Marcus Sasser should be factored in here at all. I think he probably, whether he's on the roster or not, he's not going to be factored into this. To me, I think Duncan might be one of the guys that's used to upgrade the four, um, and then I think we might use the MLE to sign another guard. So I think that's going to be kind of our path forward. Um, that's just my feeling. I think this makes it less likely we're going to spend a lot to get Tyler Hero, which I think is the wrong move anyways. I'm okay with that. Maybe it's a sign and trade for Norm Powell with Duncan Robinson, and then your four guys are Cade, Norm, Dennis, and a Corey that you kind of play as a rotation. Um, but I think to me this means that Duncan's either going to be, if he returns, I think those are going to be the four guys. I don't think that's going to be the. I think they might want to add another free agent. So I think Duncan might be on the move. Said we still got all our bullets, so it has to be trades from here on. What do you think might happen? That's my feeling for the guards, and I think honestly, what my first thing I'll be doing is re-engaging on Trey Murphy. The Pelicans didn't. They we were close to a deal on Trey Murphy, and the Pelicans seemingly just asked for more that we wouldn't give. The Pelicans did that because they wanted to get early picks in the lottery in this draft. So I'm going back to the table because it sounds like he wants to be moved now. And the Clippers have been involved, the Warriors were involved, the Nets were involved, and we were involved. Those kind of the four teams, at least that we know of. So I try to go for Murphy. If it's not him, I try to find another four that you could trade for. Because I don't think this is really a great free agent option. I like Mamu as like a four and stretch five, but he's not like moving the needle really. I think I would have liked him more. I don't know if we used assets to get a two, and he was the four. I just don't think it makes sense to use assets to get Hero and extend him if you're drafting a Corey and you have Dennis Jenkins. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Ben said, "What is your thoughts on Norm Powell?" I like him. I made a video about him earlier this year. Um, he was still really good at getting to the rim this year. Draws a lot of fouls, and he obviously can shoot. I mean, he's a flamethrower sometimes. He's a little inconsistent, but he's good. Um, he doesn't create for others at all. Like he's just a scorer, which might be okay. Um, my major concerns with him is that he's struggled to kind of stay on the court a lot, and he's there. He was 33 this last year, first time All Star on his contract year, and got hurt. So I don't want to give him 3 years on a contract. I would only do it for 2 years, but I think for a sign and trade, it has to be 3 years or more. Remember, that's why Duncan's contract was 3 years long, with the last year like 2 million guaranteed, was because sign and trades have to be a 3 year deal. So maybe they would be creative with it again. We could talk to Heat again, and maybe they could do it for I don't know Duncan. but send him back in the sign and trade. But I don't know. He said Pistons got 7 guards on the roster trade. Got to be coming. Going Murphy or Hero. Yeah, I think Murphy's way more likely than Hero now to me. But I also don't know if the Pelicans are going to come down at all. I think they probably will have to now that they didn't get a lottery pick. But we'll see. I think you should pay attention to your phone the next couple of days because he apparently they were expecting him to be traded today, and there was no player trades in this draft. I don't know how often that happens. I feel like there's always at least one player that gets moved on draft night, but not today. But yeah, definitely not going to go into the season with all these guards on the roster. Um, I think Danis can play with Okori. To be honest, Danis is not that small. He's 6'4". I think people kind of, I don't know. I think people think he's smaller than he is. I think he's capable on defense as well. I think people underrate his defense a little bit. The Celtics got Chris Sinak Jr. Very high upside, but very far away from being a good NBA player. So it's an interesting future bet for them. Shout out assist expert 40 for subscribing. We're at 336. I think we've gone up by like at least, I don't know, 15, 20 during the draft. So thank you everyone for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Um, I talk Pistons basketball all the time on here, and we're going to cover all of the rest of free agency and the trades that happen. But what a great first draft. I appreciate everyone for joining this live stream. Please hit a like button if you haven't already. It does a lot for the channel. It's a small thing you can do to support me quite a bit. So thank you so much. If you're watching this, if you watch part of this after the draft, leave a comment. That's very helpful as well. But yeah, we only got a couple picks left. We're in the home stretch here. I'm getting tired. I'm getting thirsty. I gotta go to the bathroom. But I'm sticking it out, guys. I can't cut this off at 28 and then have the Pistons move up to 30. That would be okay. I don't think they're gonna move up to 30 anymore because they're already talking to the players and to Trajan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna show y'all some quotes. We're just gonna look at Twitter together. Hopefully I don't regret this. We're getting some EBUKA Okori quotes right now. I wish they would live stream these like they do for the NFL sometimes. I feel like they do after the press, like after each first round. I always watch the um Brad Holmes post like day one press conference, but the NBA they just get on a call. I don't like it. Um, so Jefferson here's the pick at 28 to the Nets. Um, here's a couple of quotes. So Q's there as well. He said a lot of emotion. Biggest one is gratitude. I'm not going to take it for granted. Um, and he said the workout was good and high intensity, and sitting down with Trajan in the organization was an instant fit that he felt. Um, so yeah, I mean, they're not going to be a ton of probably revealing information or anything, but Doc said, I know we're getting closer to the end, but great show, man. Great Pistons people in chat with everyone's opinions. Doc, you've been amazing. I mean, I really appreciate you. You've been making me laugh all night and really keeping the energy up. So thank you so much for joining. Um, yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Um, Ben said Bulls could have an exciting future in the next few years with Swain getting Claxton for zero. Yeah, Claxton's been pretty bad to be honest. Like, but since he got that contract, really. So I'm not super high on that move, but uh, I love Caleb Wilson and Swain for them, so I think that's good. Corey says that he immediately envisions himself fitting with Cade Cunningham and being another shot creator. He mentions that he knows Detroit is a defensive team and he's ready to be impactful on that end. Sebastian's suspicion is going to make a trade for who? I don't know. Me neither, man. If you knew, you got to tell me because we we're definitely going to be making some trades, man. Shout out to the Jaden Ivey trade because this would not have been possible without him. We would have been drafting out of Joshua Jefferson, Malik Thomas, Isaiah. I probably would have just drafted Isaiah Evans. Yeah, I mean, and it would have been okay, but I think Corey's definitely a higher upside pick. So Without that, it would not have been possible. Yeah, he said everyone was very welcoming in Detroit. We already kind of saw that one. Sebastian says I like Murphy, but he's not worth four first round. Yeah, he's not, and that's why we had to walk away from that deal. It was just not. It sounds like we were close to agreeing something with them, and then they bumped their demand again. So whatever street corner is, yeah, man, he's a interesting cat. Corey on his outside shooting, he says, "I'm gonna stay in the gym, continue to work on my game. I'm not worried about shooting at all." Um, so yeah, I mean, look, I'm bummed. I'm pumped up about the Okori pick. I hear you guys that are not a little concerned, but I'm excited about it. He said he hasn't modeled his game after anyone, but he looked up to Kyrie, Steph, and LeBron. So he's one of us. This is interesting. I think we already kind of looked at graphs that showed this, but leaders in percentage of field goals made that were unassisted. Okori ahead of Swain, Flemings, AJ, Wagler, Fila, everybody. And his efficiency here, 52%, less than Swain. I mean, Swain obviously was like a crazy rim finisher. Um, but yeah, highest highest percentage in those unassisted shots. So he's gonna have much easier time getting shots at the NBA level, and he's great at getting them. So I think this is gonna go pretty well, guys. Powell's a solid vet option and shoots 40 from deep. We need that. Well, Powell is 33. He's pretty old. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Powell. I'm kind of mixed on him. I think he's, to be honest, I'd rather get him for cheaper than Hero, like by giving a bunch of assets and extending. So okay, Sacramento's coming into 29 with Cleveland. Oh yeah, we have a new unk in town. Who's the best available? Yeah, Isaiah Evans. Maybe is for Sacramento. Maybe they're going I think Koa Pete would be a good pick for Sacramento, especially if they're going to trade Sabonis, because Koa Pete can do everything besides shoot. They just drafted, Darius Acuff, who can shoot, and defense is suspect. So if you want a player that can play well on defense right away, be a high energy, cause chaos, is Koa Pete. Hero's nice, but he's not worth picks to Duncan Holland. Yeah, and we got to extend him. Yeah, because like if you trade all those assets for him, you can't just let him leave after 1 year. So you have to extend him. And if you're extending him, he's already making 33. He's not going to come down much off of that. So even if you got him for 3 years, you're probably getting three for 100. So it's like over 30 per year. Do you want to sign that contract? No, not me. Not before his defense is so bad. Like that's way too. I don't know. Oh, the Kings are interested in Alex Caravan at 29. Yeah, dog, we have a million second round picks, and none of them are tomorrow. I'm not going live tomorrow. I'll probably do like a Pistons EBUKA Okori video tomorrow. Um, but maybe they trade into the pick draft tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened if there was a guy they like at the first 10 picks or so. But after that, I don't know. There's only like from a lot of the draft guys I've seen, like Sam Vecini said, there's only like 25 first round picks on his board. A lot of the guys are about 25 to like 26 or 27 first round grade talents. After that, it's kind of just a crapshoot, and not a lot of like second round picks that can make a big impact. Some of those guys in the second round that I've heard good things about. Obviously Malik Thomas is a scorer, but we wouldn't go for him. Koa Pete, I love Koa Pete. If he doesn't go 30, I think he's a great guy to go up and get tomorrow. Not for the Pistons though, because he can't shoot. Um, Vasar is like a scoring hypothetical big man. Maybe we'd go after him as the third center if we're going to be trading Stu. Baba Miller is a really interesting player from Cincinnati, but not for the Pistons because he doesn't shoot. Um, Richie Saunders is a really fun player. He used to play for BYU. He's like a really good scoring wing. He can kind of do everything. He's a good shooter, but then he tore his ACL. So I would be interested in him if we move into the second round tomorrow. But yeah, there's Caravan. Um, Emmanuel Sharp from Houston is available. He's you know he shot 37% from three. He's a point of attack defender. Um, Jacoby Gillespie is probably the best shooter available tomorrow, but he's a guard. He's 6'1", so we're not gonna get him. I don't think there's anyone tomorrow the Pistons trade him for. Maybe Ugana Onyenso from Virginia. He's a rim protector. If we're planning to move on from Stu, I think it makes sense to add a second round, like a whether it's a 2-way contract or a couple of years with like a non-guarantee year. I think Onyenso could be an impactful player for us. The problem is a lot of the guys available tomorrow are just small guards, and you're just not going to double down on that. So yeah, I don't know. Or Tyler Billadu, he's a great shooting forward that can't really play defense. Is it Vasar wake up? Yeah, I mean, if the Pistons wanted him bad enough, I'm sure they could get him. And you're gonna give him like 1 or 2 seconds at this point, like, yeah. It's finally the final pick, you guys. We've been here for 4 hours on this first live stream on this channel, so thank you guys so much. Oh, the Suns are moving in, guys. The Suns are moving into 30, and they're taking Koa Pete. I've heard throughout the last couple of days that the Suns like Koa Pete, and they might try to move into the late or early second or late first, and they're gonna get their first round pick here. So I think I like that pick a lot for them, to be honest. Um, yeah, he's a very good all around player. Just does everything besides he's a terrible shooter. Obviously, I played at Arizona, so that's pretty cool connection going to Phoenix. Um, yeah, I'm gonna close the draft stream here actually. And that's probably gonna be all I'm gonna do tonight. Thank you guys though so much. I mean, I had a great time watching the draft with everyone in this chat. Uh, you guys made this an awesome first draft experience for me on this channel. Um, I was a little nervous going in, like how many people would be engaging in the draft, and the idea of doing a 4 hour stream and kind of talking into a void was a little bit intimidating. But you guys made it really easy for me, so thank you everyone for being such a great chat. I appreciate all of you like more than I can even describe. Have a great night, everyone. I'm gonna make an EBUKA Okori video probably tomorrow, so I'm gonna post that tomorrow night. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your night, guys. Thank you so much.